Shelter Insurance is committed to being there when you need us most.
See Shelter Agent Jeremiah Matthews in Little Rock, Sam Eklund in Star City, or Agent Kyle Stone in Pine Bluff today.
We got the big deals, the big
Summer is quickly coming to an end, but you've still got some time to take advantage of some truly amazing deals here at Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram.
That's right, Terry. We've got 0% financing and no payments for 90 days on a huge selection of 1,500 trucks. And you can get up to $22,000 off of crew cab four-wheel drives.
So come see us and make this the summer at Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram, Alcoa Road in Benton, or online at chriscranecars.com.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists that also takes care of our fleet at Signal Media. Fleet Management Services is now hiring for loop tech, tire tech, and light maintenance. 8 paid holidays and paid vacation, paid health insurance, and 401k. Pay depends on experience and signing bonus. Apply in person at 901 East 8th Street in Little Rock.
Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios, it's Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
With my boo babe tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good, won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too busy once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down, we playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem, you just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest funk. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put a baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. It's levels to it, you and I know. Tell them be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
Welcome into the show. What's up, everybody? Wes Moore, Joe Franklin with you on this hump day. Halfway through the week. Got football tomorrow. High school football, college football, UCA Bears in action. We got a little high school football to talk today with Glenn Rose and Bauxite, the Buzz Game of the Week. Coach Brian Weatherford will join us. Excited for a little football, Joe. It's almost here.
It's go time.
Yeah.
It's right there. And this is what we've been waiting for. A lot of excitement in the air, and we get to see some real games, not just charity games and preseason. Real games start tomorrow.
Yeah, there's been some discussion about I just messed up, Joe. I ejected the music for the next break. Sorry. There's been a lot of discussion with these national NFL writers and guys who cover the NFL about the preseason games, how meaningless they've become for the starters. Now, for the backups, guys trying to make the team very important, but for the fans, basically, it's hard to watch because a lot of the guys that are playing aren't going to make the team. That the real benefit of preseason are now these in camp matchups,
joint practices. When
they have the joint practices, and they've been allowing fans to come to these joint practices, and it's like, well, you know what? Do away with the preseason games and just do more joint practices and open those up and have them inside of a stadium and sell your tickets that way, because that's when your starters are playing and that's when they're getting the most out of the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's something to think about, but it's essentially what a preseason game would be. If you have a joint practice and you sell tickets and you're still trying to make money, that's what you're doing for preseason. But it still remains that half teams throughout the league, they have a philosophy of we're going to play our starters, and the other half, there are coaches that just don't believe in it at all because they want to protect those starters, make sure there's not a risk of injury. So if it was majority of the league, if it was, we're talking 32 teams, if it was 28 teams of those 32, 27 maybe, but we're talking half and half most of the time where you're going to see starters and you're not going to see starters for other teams, then there's still value in it.
Do all teams do joint practices?
Not necessarily, no, but it seems to be picking up a little more now that it's become a trend. And so, yeah, it seems like every team is trying to make that effort, but not necessarily.
Like the Cowboys did the joint practice with the Rams,
and
then they did one with the Saints.
They've done that forever, though. They've done because of proximity. They've done it with Rams forever, and then for a long time, they would always play Raiders in preseason, and that had to do with 4 games. So they had probably 2 locked-in opponents because of proximity, and they would do joint practices with those teams because you're there right there in the area. Why not?
Well, the Razorbacks have already finished up their 19th practice of the 19th practice. I can't even read. The 17th practice of the training camp. They went this morning at, we really don't know because there was no media availability and there's no interviews today. You do have the Ryan Silverfield show tonight, so we'll get to hear from Coach Silverfield on the Buzz. They'll be back at it tomorrow morning at 10:30, and we'll get some interviews from some players. But yesterday, we got to hear from a couple of defensive players, Steven Sackham Souls and Carter Stoutmeyer. Souls, of course, a transfer from Kentucky. Stoutmeyer, a transfer from Colorado. Both have played a lot of snaps. Probably Carter Stoutmeyer. I was just talking with Phil. You start looking at guys that have maybe played the most Power 4 snaps. It may be Carter Stoutmeyer because he's played for 3 years at Colorado and had a significant role with them even as a freshman. So he has played a lot right now. Or last we were led to believe Stoutmeyer was part of that safety rotation. And yesterday he said he was mainly playing at the star position. Well, that's the position that Kamari House has been playing. And we've been told that Kamari House has kind of separated himself from one of the playmakers of the defense. So I thought it was odd they had Carter Stoutmeyer in there yesterday. But maybe that's, something about the depth at that safety position.
Still trying to figure it out.
We're kind of concerned, or at least I'm concerned. We've seen Arkansas sign 3 guys from, potential 5th-year guys, and they were all safeties. And so it was, all right, is there a problem at safety? What's going on there? Is there not any depth? And then they march out Carter Stoutmeyer as a potential backup. And I know he'll play. Safeties will get in and out, and you very rarely will have one safety play all 70 snaps in a game. So Stoutmeyer will be in that rotation.
And they move around within a defense depending on formation.
And he did say that he, at Colorado, he played corner. He played safety. He played nickelback. He played in the dime, would move up towards the kind of like a linebacker. So he has played all over the field in his career at Colorado. But these 2 guys were awesome. It was up there as the one of the best, if not the best, press conference of training camp. They were fantastic, and we're going to hear a little bit from these guys. It all started out with Souls and just his description of what training camp has been like.
Gruesome. Camp has been gruesome, but I think we make it gruesome so, the season is easy. It's been fun, though. We having fun, but
gruesome is just the grind of it?
Yeah, we want the season to be easy as possible, so we're going hard right now, so we're not panicking or, exhausted when the season comes. We already seen it. We already been in tempo after going tempo again. Like, we it's nothing we haven't seen when the season comes, so we just been grinding.
Gruesome. He was asked about Coach Silverfield because, as coming in from a different program, what do you think about Coach Silverfield and the staff? And, he was sure to praise Kentucky and everything that he did not badmouth. Neither one of them would badmouth their former schools. But he said Coach Silverfield is one of those coaches that you hate right now, but next year or when the season's over, this guy has prepared me for every single thing. He has made me a better player. What he has put through is preparing me for this season and hopefully for next season in the NFL, and I can go back and look at him and say, I love you. You were a great coach. At the time, don't like you, but he realizes everything that they're doing, how meticulous, how all the details that Silverfield goes through. He understands there's a reason for it and why it's going to lead to success.
Some realize that right away, and then it takes others time to realize what the message is and the overall that you're getting out of it. It's just like coaches. Coaches have to realize they can't coach one way and coach players one way. They have to coach some one way. They have to coach others different ways. They have to figure out the relationship between individuals, what's the best way to relate to them and go about coaching them. And it works on both sides with coaches and players.
Here's Carter Stoutmeyer talking about the camp so far and also the depth in the safety room.
I think this has been a really good camp. I think I took a big jump from spring ball personally, just being able to just settle down in the defense. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable now, like within my position and the role that I'm at now compared to where I was in the spring. And then I feel like I'm just playing a lot faster and just making a lot more plays. So I feel like this will be a really good year for me personally and also for the team. And I feel like we have a really good back end. We have good depth. Really, in safety, I feel like we have really good depth. I feel like everyone is versatile enough to be able to change and play different positions and stuff like that, so everyone's able to feed off of one another. Maybe one man's weakness may be another man's strength, so I feel like there's no weak links in our safety room.
We also found out Carter Stoutmeyer believes he's the fastest player on the team. He said that he was clocked there. Asked him, were you clocked at 23 miles per hour? And he said, well, the vest showed that I was at 22.9. So, yeah, we go 23. Ahead and round up, and I'm a 23 mile per hour guy. And they were trying to dig who else, is as fast as you. And he was like, I'm the fastest on the team.
Yeah, anybody who's fast and in that running, they're going to claim to be fastest. Only way to really determine it is if you have those guys line up against each other.
He said it was thought Jamari Hawkins from Memphis, the slot receiver, was the fastest guy, but he said everybody now knows I'm the fastest guy on the team.
Sure, Sutton Smith probably feels like he's fastest.
Yeah, I mean, he was clocked well up there last year in a game. Speaking of wide receivers, they had some high praise for one of the wide receivers in the Razorbacks on the Razorbacks offense. Here is we'll start with Souls, and then it goes to Stoutmeyer.
I had to guard him for one play. I've had to take him.
Okay, so it's not in the question. They were asking about Chris Marshall.
I had to guard him for one play. I've had to take him to the flat a few times, but it was a play I really had to kind of guard him, and he just disappeared. like I'm not even. He was running straight, and we had him like what we call bracket, or when we we 2 man on one.
Yeah,
I got somebody over top. I'm just running behind him, and I swear when he took his break step, he just disappeared. Like he was out of my whole I couldn't reach out and grab him if I wanted to. And like ever since then, I tell him like I don't like you right now while we're in camp, but I also tell him like we gonna get you the ball, and I feel bad for whoever has to guard you all those plays because it sucks. I don't like. How is it really guarding Chris Marshall? I'm sorry. I want to ask you that on interview. How is it?
I ain't never really been in a position where I had to guard him. Like, I might have had maybe 5 reps guarding Chris. I will say this. It was like in the spring, like 3rd day of spring ball, I think. And we was in some sort of coverage. I ended up having to, like, guard him. It was like the top of the route. I had broke on. I thought I was in, like, really good position. I was, like, fighting to get the ball out. Got, like, hands of steel, like Superman. Like, the ball, like, didn't move it. I was like, all right. That's something different. So Chris is really good.
Chris, that guy.
That guy.
That's putting a lot of pressure on that safety or DB that's over the top, because that's the whole concept of bracket coverage. You feel like maybe this player could beat double coverage, But you want that first defender to be able to at least get hands on him, slow him down. But if he can't even touch him, it's putting a lot of pressure on that second guy.
Hogs Plus did a video today put it out today with him and KJ. And just asking each other or asking them to talk about each other. And KJ was like, he's that guy when you throw it up 50-50 ball, it's more like 99-1 ball. And they pan over to Chris Marshall, and he was like shaking his head like, nope, it's 100. That's my ball. I'm going up to get it. We will hear more from those guys throughout the show today. The big news that's come out this morning is from the SEC. Of course, yesterday after we were off the air, the SEC followed suit with the Big Ten and said that no player that has signed in the NFL that has been to training camp will be eligible to play in the SEC. And then this morning, and by the way, they went as far as saying the NBA, the G League, WNBA, if you played in any of these, you're not eligible. No, you will not play in the SEC.
They wanted to make sure everything was covered so they don't have to come back and do it all over again.
So today, this morning, they're finalizing the punishments. It's one thing to say you won't do it, but what's the teeth to this? And very similar to the Big Ten. Half-season suspension for the head coaches. SEC voting privileges revoked on business matters for the school in violation of this rule. A hefty fine, 50% of that sport's annual operating budget. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars. For football, half your operating budget. And then the league retains the right to levy other penalties by Greg Sankey and or SEC presidents, chancellors, if necessary, and part of the freedom that Sankey has as commissioner is by making it forfeits. That would be a possibility if you played an ineligible player and postseason bowl bans. So the SEC came out with some teeth to their statement. And of course, the lawyers for these guys are already saying this is illegal. You're going to be sued. But there's a great debate going on social media. They're not saying you can't play in college football. They're just saying you can't play in this league. If you want to go play in the AAC or Conference USA, as of right now, or the Big 12, although the word is Big 12 is expected to follow this model.
ACC.
And the ACC, that they'll be meeting soon. I think the Big 12 may be meeting today, or is it tomorrow? It's soon. And so you're seeing the at least Power 4 conferences take a stand. And if the NCAA tried to do something about it. They put out the rule. It's the lawyers and the judges who have made it possible for some of these guys to come back and try to get in. And the SEC is taking matters into their own hand. And if LSU is trying to get a tight end from the Cleveland Browns, they're going to say, no, you can't do it. And if you do it, here's what you could, the punishment you could have. And it also applied to LSU with the basketball player, R.J. Lewis. Wasn't that his name?
Yeah. So
I did read closely about the leagues that you've participated in, and the Euro League was not included. So that was a good thing, right?
And LSU, we know about their men's basketball team. They have international players on their women's team also. So
did you see the Ukrainian player quit?
Yeah, because they signed a Russian player. Yeah. So conflict of interest there.
Yeah. Apparently, one of the players' dads is fighting in the war right now. And I don't know if it was the Russian dad or the Ukrainian dad, but they were like, yeah, that's not going to work. Kim Mulkey, what are you thinking?
There's a bigger cause for sure.
All right, let's go to the Middleton Heat and Air text line real quick. Let's see here. We'll start with 501. Oh, he's got 3 texts. Brown or Mingo, West, for the Cowboys receiver spot. I say Brown. He isn't a Blazer, but he's big and he has great hands. Tell you what, the Cowboys have a decision to make there because Jonathan Mingo also had a very good preseason, had a good game 2. Brown had another, good game. May come down to special teams, kind of like Mickey said. If they're both kind of close there at that 5th spot, really their biggest contribution is going to be special teams on game day. You hope you're not having to play that 5th wide receiver too often. So who's going to contribute more and make an impact on special teams? And I don't know if that's Mingo or Brown. That's a good Mickey question.
They have something invested in the Mingo. They traded for him. So don't know if, because it wasn't like this season, then maybe they could put it behind them and say that's not a factor anymore. But if it is a factor, then that's something to think about.
I saw where the Giants traded a guard who's played for them, but they feel like they've drafted well and got some other guys, and they're deep at that spot, and they traded the guard to the Chiefs for like a 7th-round pick. Could be something of need if the team needs a wide receiver. Could be something the Cowboys look to do there. I don't know if they could get either one of those past waivers and try to get them on the practice squad. Maybe Brown, maybe, but he's made such an impact, and I would think somebody would probably pick him up and try to sign him to their practice squad or put him on the roster.
Yeah, that's how it would have to be. Yeah. You wouldn't go from practice squad to practice squad.
But I don't know, that's a good question. We'll try to get Mickey on here. Said he also thought Watkins would be the fastest. Well, I figure, the track guy would be the fastest on the team that runs a 9.9100. I don't know. Maybe he can't do it in pads. It's a different speed right there. And then he asked, what about the overseas pro players who were paid for play basketball? They were not banned by the SEC. There was nothing about a Euro League or anything European overseas basketball. It was just WNBA, G League, or NBA.
And it's different because these players are pro at 14 years old. So, there are age factors involved, but when you're talking about somebody who's been pro at a young age, that's where difference comes in.
It's a completely different system over there. But it's going to come down to the NCAA. And the NCAA, they sent something out yesterday. I read that memo. I can't remember it, so I'm not going to say anything about it. I'll see if I can find it. Boyd says, yay, SEC, you did the right thing. Yeah, I applaud the SEC. That's the way I think, most of the vast majority of people feel about this, that guys in training camp right now should not be coming back to college. And the SEC and the Big Ten, give them both credit. They got it done, and they're trying to put a stop to it. But I just wonder what's next. There's got to be a lawsuit, right? Someone, some player, some group of players, probably the LSU guys, will file a lawsuit.
Trying to get that injunction.
But still, an injunction can't make a team sign a player. It's still up to the team, the university, to sign that player.
Yeah, it is. But they're not going after schools now. They're going to go after conference.
Mm-hmm. Say that this rule is illegal.
Yeah.
It's a Chris Turnage question. Guess we need to get Chris back on here, too. All right. We need to take a break. Thank you for putting that back in there. Off to a rough start. I was just clicking away, deleting things. When we come back, we'll head to Cowboys camp, Razorbacks camp. Connor Goodson follows the Razorbacks for hogsports.com. He's been going to all the practices that have been available and open to the media. We'll get his thoughts on what he's seeing, get an update from him, talk about KJ, yesterday's press conference, and much more. We are just getting started. It's going to be a fun day. 2 o'clock today, we got Coach Brian Weatherford, Glen Rose, Beavers. That is the Buzz game of the week, Glen Rose at Bauxite. We'll find out about the Beavers. And then Stephen Davis, voice of the Travelers, at 2:30. All that and a whole lot more still to come. It's Out of Bounds.
The Zone Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by Jim's Razorback Pizza with 2 locations, Highway 10 past Taylor Loop and just off the Morgan Maumelle exit.
This is Sports Center.
The SEC joined the Big Ten yesterday to oppose athletes leaving pro sports to return to college teams. The SEC voted unanimously that its institutions are not permitted to have an athlete on its rosters who has signed a contract with or been listed on a roster in the NFL, NBA, G League, or WNBA, or has previously declared for those drafts and not been properly withdrawn. The announcement comes after Louisiana judges allowed LSU to sign tight end Daquan Wright after he cleared waivers with the Cleveland Browns and signed basketball player R.J. Luis Davis Jr. despite signing multiple NBA contracts. The ACC, Big 12, and Notre Dame are expected to vote on similar policies soon. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
In today's digital world, compliance isn't just a box to check, it's a necessity. Network Services Group will help you navigate the complex landscape of cybersecurity regulations, making sure your business stays compliant and secure. Stay ahead of the curve. Focus on what really matters, growing your business. Network Services Group, your partner in compliance for banks and medical organizations.
Network Services Group. One call does it all.
Honda of Russellville, proud to celebrate 47 years of serving Arkansas families. Come celebrate with big savings store-wide through September 26th. Register to win a 2026 Honda HR Forest Edition 4Transform 4x4 with the dependable 518cc engine and long travel suspension, ready for work or the weekend. See why folks from all over Arkansas choose Honda of Russellville. Great prices and hometown service for 47 years. Honda recommends the Foreman for riders 16 years and older. Always wear a helmet and take an ATV rider course.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 501-600-2763. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 501-600-2763. That's 501-600-2763.
Ember Rewards at Southland Casino Hotel is turning up the heat for new members. Join today and enjoy a free buffet at the Kitchen's Buffet. Plus, earn 150 points and win up to $1,500 free play. From 8 incredible restaurants and bars to free live entertainment every week, the excitement never stops at Southland. Our 20-story hotel is just steps from our casino floor, so you can extend your day at the casino to the next morning. Book your stay now, exclusively at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, McClarty Mazda and Volkswagen in North Little Rock has over 900 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. From cars and trucks to SUVs, you'll find all makes and models and something for every budget. Good credit, bad credit, or no credit, they'll work with you. Plus, with a 3-day exchange policy, you can shop with confidence, knowing you've got options after you buy. Take a look at McClartyVW.com. McClarty Mazda and Volkswagen in North Little Rock, where more choices mean more ways to save.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, selling and servicing Kubota's full line of equipment since 1991. HenardFoothills.com.
It's beautiful, it's bittersweet. You're like a broken home to me. I take a shot of memories and black out like an empty street. I feel my day.
Welcome back to excuse me. Try that again. Where's my water? Much better. Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin with you. I was just looking at radar. Looks like we're going to get a pretty good rainstorm tonight. Early evening, 5, 6 o'clock. Be nice. Love this little cooler weather. Been a little nicer. Let's bring in Connor Goodson. I know he likes the cooler weather for all these practices and the earlier practices. What's up, Connor? How are you?
What's up, Wes? Can't complain. Another day closer to the football season and actually getting to see this team out in game action.
Can you feel it? I mean, is it close enough to where you're starting to feel it?
You can feel it. You can taste it. You can smell it. I mean, it's here. You're watching preseason NFL football. Where they had some premier high school football games on the TV last weekend, and then we've got some really good week 0 matchups coming up this week in the States. Wow. And obviously with the, softball and everything, I'm going to be glued into what's happening in Central Arkansas.
Connor, I try to watch every single one of the press conferences. And yesterday's press conference with Carter Stoutmeyer and Steven Sackham-Souls may have been the best press conference of fall camp, in my opinion. Where would you've been there for all of them. Where would you put it?
No question. That was one of the best. Those two dudes were really entertaining. I heard you guys play that clip of him talking about Garden, or Steven Souls give his take on Garden, Chris Marshall and his experiences with that in practice. And it was just fun to see him turn, kind of flip the interview room and him start to ask questions to Carter Stoutmeyer there. Those two dudes they looked like they were having a really good time. They were really relaxed, and you really got to see the personality shine. And a lot of times when we get players up there, the interview room, there's bright lights, a lot of heat. Sometimes the questions can be a little bit uncomfortable for guys to answer. But those two dudes really laid back and let everyone see their personality and who they really are. So I thought that was really, really cool to see and very, very entertaining. A breath of fresh air for us in the media to see that.
I'm not sure who asked the question, but someone asked to compare, their previous stops, Kentucky and Colorado, to Arkansas and the differences. And I thought that even that's not an easy question to answer. And those guys gave some good, thoughtful answers.
Yeah, that was actually old Trey Biddy that skewered him with that one. It was right after the Chris Marshall stuff too, so they got a little bit of a 1-2 combo there. But yeah, no, I thought that they handled the question really well. I thought that they could have taken the low road and just said the previous places didn't do a good job, or blame others for why they didn't reach the success at other places or things like that. Sometimes it doesn't come out well when they're trying to explain themselves or answer that question. But I thought they did a really good job, and you also get a peek into how it's been for them personally, having to go through, Silverfield's first offseason as head coach, and you get a peek into how difficult he's been on them and how demanding he is and the expectation level. And I think that really shined a light on how different that this staff in general has really handled themselves since being here. And I think it's kind of, Arkansas fans, they've had a lot of questions about the staff. There's not a lot of, for even the most casual fans, there's not a lot of excitement coming into this just because of how it's gone the past, however many, we could even go back to 14 plus years since they've had a double-digit winning season, Arkansas football. So, there's not a ton of excitement or tradition to lean on there, at least in recent history. And I think that this coaching staff has come out and really, knocked it out of the park every time. They've answered the questions the right way. They've said the right things. They've done the right things. They've really put themselves out there and done a good job. And now we get a peek into the actual practices and behind-the-scenes stuff, and it looks like that they are actually holding these guys accountable and being very demanding, which you need to be as a head coach, especially in college football now. We are talking with Connor Goodson, hogsports.com. He's on the Network Services Group hotline. Connor, are you ready to proclaim Marshall as wide receiver 1? I think so. I think that it's just that you wouldn't hear so many people talking about him if he wasn't backing up the hype in practice. And I remember after that first scrimmage, I believe Coach Silverfield was talking about, Marshall just needs to be more consistent day to day. He has these highlight plays one day, and then he comes out and you barely hear a peep of him the next day. And so he's really, him and all those coaches on the offensive side of the ball have really hammered home that he needs to bring that level of play, that high level talent every day in and day out. And I think that was kind of maybe a wake-up call for him. And they kind of laid out the scenario in some of those meetings that, like, hey, you can be this guy. You can be a wide receiver 1 at the SEC level, and you can accomplish all your dreams, the NFL, all of this, fame, the money, the pro status, that is out in front of you. You just got to bring it every day and treat this like you want it. And I think that resonated with him, and he's flipped another switch and reached another gear, I think, these last couple of weeks, to where you've seen him really kind of grab the brass ring and take it and be that number 1 guy. And, I heard you mention the Hogs Plus special with KJ. That chemistry, man, it's just pretty obvious that they have that natural connection there. And I think that Arkansas fans are going to really see that shine in the first couple of weeks of the season. Connor, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's where I was going next, because during that Hogs Plus little clip,
KJ pointed out also besides Chris Marshall, C.J. Brown, CC, and Hawkins. So it sounded like to me that was the four guys he named. Those are kind of your four guys with CC and Hawkins kind of split role there on that slot receiver.
Yeah, definitely. I think that those three guys have really separated themselves. And obviously, I said that Marshall's kind of that wide receiver one, but any given day, any of those four guys can go out and have I think 100-yard receiving performance. They all are super talented and have breakout potential. And that's not to discredit some of the other talent that's in that wide receiver room. I think that just the staff, they want to see consistency, and those 3-4 guys have really shown that consistency day in and day out, I think, compared to some of the others. But you look at that second group of receivers for this team, Wes, I don't know about you, but there's so much talent in that second on the second string right there. That may be the most talented second string of receivers that I've seen since I've been really paying attention to Arkansas football in recent years. There's so much talent there. And you got a Courtney Crutchfield, you got an Antonio Jordan, 6'6", 228. You got Donovan Flappel, who is coming from New Mexico State, where he was really, really talented and put up some insane video game-like numbers for them. Guys like that, they're just, those guys could go to another Power 4 school and be starters, and you got them as backups and insurance policies in case something goes wrong. And I think that that's really, really exciting from that standpoint, just the depth on the offensive side of the ball.
That may be why the quarterback competition was getting tighter and tighter, according to some, because the number 2 wide receivers at that second quarterback, whoever it was that day was working with, are really good wide receivers too.
Yeah, that's a great point, and there's no question about it. And I think that hearing Tim Cranzy talk and Silverfield, they're really excited about this crop of receivers and weapons that this whoever won the quarterback battle, which is now KJ Jackson, obviously has at their disposal. So I think that's one area where I've gotten a little bit more confident in this team. As much as we worry about what the quarterback situation is going to be and is KJ Jackson going to be the right guy, he has enough weapons and enough talent around him to, I think, really help elevate his play and not mask, but kind of make up for any, errors or shortcomings that he might show on a game-to-game basis. So I think that's really kind of put my worries to ease a little bit more than I expected coming into fall camp.
Yesterday, we're talking with Connor Goodson, hogsports.com, on the Network Services Group hotline. Yesterday, Carter Stoutmeyer was brought into the press conference, and I found it a little odd because it seemed like to me he was always a backup safety. And we found out yesterday he's been playing mainly at that star position where, we've been told Kamari House is kind of the guy. Is there anything to read into that, why Stoutmeyer was brought in?
I don't know. It was very interesting. That's one of the things that we kind of were murmuring amongst us in the media. Kind of had questions about. I think that Carter, with him being just a senior guy, he obviously came across really, really well speaking. I think that he's a guy that he's got so much speed. You've got to find a way to get him on the field, and I think that he's shown that he deserves at least some run. And so I think that you could really see. Not maybe a rotation, but you could see different looks and things where they find ways to get him on the field. Whether it's we've talked about the questions at safety as well. You've had Christian Harrison and Miguel Mitchell have been kind of the two there that look like they've been the number one options. But Carter Stoutmeyer, he's played safety before. I think that they've worked him in every now and then there at that spot. He's shown that he's capable of being that team player. I think that maybe you could see some looks where he gets on the field at safety, especially if things aren't working out for either of those two top guys. You could move them around, or you could have a rotation between Kamari House and Carter Stoutmeyer. Maybe if you need a little bit more physicality, you go Kamari House. If you need a little bit more speed, you go with Carter Stoutmeyer. I think that there's some versatility there that he brings that not a lot of other teams will have that Arkansas has at his disposal, and I think that's going to help them get on the field.
Yeah, depth is a good thing. I mean, they talked about with Quincy Rhodes. Maybe instead of playing 70 snaps and you're worn out in the fourth quarter, you're able to rest him 20 snaps, and then in the fourth quarter he's still at his best. Maybe the same with Kamari House and Carter Stoutmeyer.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that that's the one thing that's really stood out to me is last year and previous years with this Arkansas team, they just didn't have the depth to really hang on and go through the grueling gauntlet that is the SEC. And it would be a couple of injuries, and then the whatever position group, it would just implode, and that was going to be the weak link going forward. This team, I feel like, has enough depth to withstand the grind of the SEC schedule, and that's one area where I've really been impressed with this coaching staff to do that in your first off season and in the shortened windows, the craziness that is what college football has become. For them to go out and actually assemble a team that has as much or more depth than we've seen an Arkansas team have in recent years, really, really impressive, and that should excite a lot of people. And it excites me to see what that looks like. And we talk about that. It feels like a lot of people will say, well, they have depth, but this Arkansas team, they have guys that are proven. They've proven themselves at other programs, and they've certainly proven themselves in this fall camp that they can be relied upon if they're needed in that second group.
Connor Goodson with us on Out of Bounds. Connor, do we know, have they started preparing yet for North Alabama or Utah?
Yeah, so one of the things that Ryan Silverfield was asked about on, I believe that was Sunday after they had the scrimmage Saturday night, and then they had the press conference, and the last practice that media got to view was on Sunday. And he said that they've looked at their first few opponents and they started to implement different things, but it sounds like that they're really starting to turn the page now to where it's going to be like a normal prep to where they're actually looking at North Alabama and some of the stuff that they're doing. But I would not put it past them to, implement some things and look ahead to Utah, because that game is so important. And you obviously don't want to overlook an opponent and just completely, go out there and rest on your laurels. It's the first game of Silverfield's tenure. You want to make a good impression. You want to treat it like you would each and every week and kind of build those good habits. But with the importance and what's riding on that Utah game, I think that they're going to maybe double up a little bit, and they've probably already started, implementing some stuff for Utah and looking at some of that film. But obviously you'll hit that a little bit heavier once you have some actual game tape of what this Utah team looks like this year, and obviously that week of prep leading up to it's going to be important. But I do not doubt for a second that they've already started looking at the first few opponents on the schedule.
Connor, yesterday we asked all of our listeners, give me one player on offense, one player on defense that you're most excited to watch and see, finally get to see play in the game. Who would that be for you?
I think for me, it comes down to two. I know it's a cop-out. There's two guys that I'm really looking at. The two linebackers for Arkansas, Jaquavian Smith and Bradley Shaw. Those two dudes have flown under the radar so much. That linebacker group has flown under the radar so much, but those dudes have just impressed me anytime I've actually stuck and watched them, particularly Jaquavian Smith. He's a guy that, how does this kind of guy fly under the radar? He's got the size, he's got the speed, he moves really well, he brings that physicality. I'm just excited to see what he brings, and for fans to get acquainted with his game. I think that he could have a really breakout year. And then Bradley Shaw's stuck through it with his coaching change, so he's the guy that I'm really impressed with. But, man, there's so many on that defensive side of the ball that I'm just ready to see in game action. But those are the two guys that have consistently been like, man, why aren't they getting hyped? And then on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, we haven't seen any of the scrimmages, and it's an obvious one, but Chris Marshall, I'm just ready to see him in action, in person, in a real game situation, just to see what he brings, because I think that he can really be that transformational receiver that Arkansas needs to step up. And so I'm excited to see what he can bring to this team and showcase.
Yeah, I think I said Sutton Smith because just I know what his role is going to be, and I like Sutton a lot. But after those two guys yesterday were calling Chris Marshall that guy, I'm like, okay, I want to see that guy. I want to see what y'all are talking about. Is he really that guy?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And honestly, my answer probably would have been different if you asked me yesterday before the press conference than after. But just the glowing reviews that they've given, and Silverfield has consistently brought him up as well. And we get those. We don't get a full, stat sheet or anything from these scrimmages. We just get some notable plays and stats. And Chris Marshall is one of the guys that in both scrimmages has had multiple big plays, multiple touchdowns. And so, I mean, I'm just seeing if that translates to the game environment in week one, and if we do really see a transformational wide receiver like they've been talking about. So yeah, I'm really excited to see him.
Connor, great stuff, man. Enjoyed it. Thank you for coming on today. I really do appreciate you.
Absolutely, Wes. Always great to talk to you and Joe. And, yeah, looking forward to speaking to you all again later.
All right, man. Talk to you next week. Game week. It's Connor Goodson joining us on the Network Services Group hotline. I got the vote for the SEC on the penalties. It's been leaked how the voting went. We'll talk about that when we come back. We'll hit the Middleton Heat and Air text line also. And we'll take a phone call if you'd like to join us. Open segment. It's Out of Bounds.
60/40. What does that mean to you? Well, if you're shopping at Lazy Boy of Little Rock, it means 40% off everything in the store. For every $100, you only spend $60. You work hard for your money. Now make your money go farther with Lazy Boy of Little Rock's Labor Day sale. 40% off across the store. Upstairs, downstairs. Recliners, sofas, sectionals, tables, floor coverings, and accessories. 40% off at Lazy Boy of Little Rock's Labor Day sale. 1000 South Shackelford Road. Long live the Lazy.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep, and I just want to say thank you to the great people in the state of Arkansas for making us the nation's #1 Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer. That's right, folks. We are #1 in the entire nation, according to Stellantis' own internal report card. And if you want to find out why, you want to make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs during the Make This Summer event. Or check us out online at redriverdodge.com for the best deals in the entire state.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The most anticipated movie of 2026 is The Odyssey, a sprawling $250 million epic from Christopher Nolan. It is the classic tale from Homer. That's Homer the Greek, not Homer Simpson. And early reviews are terrific. The only challenge is going to be weathering yet another 3-hour film with no bathroom breaks. Fortunately, if you have to make a run to the restroom, you can catch up on the story as it's only been around for about 3,000 years. One of the many great things about Double B's is that it won't take 3 hours to make a pit stop at Arkansas's favorite place. Double B's 34 locations across the state will get you on your way with speed and quality, because Double B's is where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
At Greenway Equipment, there's a face behind every handshake, a name behind every counter, and a set of hands that knows John Deere equipment the way you know your land. Greenway has spent years building something that won't show up on a spec sheet. A team that takes your work personally, that knows trust is grown, not given. So when you call, Greenway answers. Visit a location today or online at gogreenway.com.
Willie D's Dueling Pianos has not moved yet. They're still rocking right here in the Little Rock River Market. Dueling Pianos upstairs, DJs downstairs with food and drinks every week. Reserve and learn more at WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Come and get your Willie on.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get any size mattress for one low price, starting at $249.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every
style, every home.
When vehicles at the Buzz need detailing, we call on 1351 Detailing, LLC. Owner Timothy Ollison brings out his mobile detail unit and gets our cars looking new inside and out. He'll do the same for you. 1351 Detailing, LLC. Call 870-723-6581.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy carries Steel full line of handheld equipment. HenardFoothills.com.
Flip mode. 9-7.
All right, welcome back to Out of Bounds. Wes Moore, Joe Franklin with you as we wrap up our first hour. Got the SEC vote to give the commissioner and the office teeth to penalize teams who disregard their new rule that you will not sign players who have been in training camp, signed professional contracts, been on an NBA, G League, WNBA roster. That's not going to happen in the SEC. So today, we've talked about it already, what the penalties are. So the vote from the presidents was this morning, and it's been leaked out. Pete Thamel, Sports Illustrated, tweeted it out. It was a 15-0 vote with one school abstaining from the vote. Anybody want to guess which school did not vote?
That's easy. It's easy. But yesterday, the vote was 16-0, right?
It was initial 16-0 vote.
They voted yesterday, so why wouldn't they vote today?
Because we don't like the penalties. We're still going to do it, but now you're telling us the penalties are this harsh?
Yeah, but, I mean, yesterday they could have abstained from that vote, or they could have voted against it, and it would have been 15-1. So it's kind of contradicting what they did yesterday to what they did today.
It is kind of odd, isn't it? Let's see here. Middleton Heat and Air text line. Got a couple of things before we hit the top of the hour break. JW says, one thing I've noticed, and I really like about Silverfield, was that if it was in the pros or if it was at Memphis, he stayed. People tried to pull him away, and he could have went on to other places, but he stuck it out. He doesn't jump fences is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he talked about that a little bit initially. When he was at Memphis, he had other opportunities, whether it was when he was a coordinator and then as a head coach. He could have left Memphis a little earlier, but it was never the right time. And when the Arkansas job came up, he knew it was the right time. And I thought it was kind of funny when he was at the Touchdown Club and he heard that this was the 22nd year of the Little Rock Touchdown Club. He said, how about we make it 44 years at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and I'll be your first speaker for the next 22 years.
Nice.
Kind of hinting that,
he wants to be here long term.
He wants to be here for a while. By the way, speaking of the Little Rock Touchdown Club, record ticket sales in the first 48 hours. President Bill Clinton and Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones will be on the stage together on Monday, October 12th at Simmons Bank Arena. Over 1,400 floor tickets were sold. Floor seating and lunch reservations are no longer available. So now they put general admission tickets on sale. They're for $25. It's in sections 106, 107, 108. You'll be just directly facing the stage, which will be elevated, so you'll be able to see them. $25. Concessions will be open. Lunch is not included with these $25 tickets. It's just come in and watch. Concession stands will be open. You can buy something there. But the demand is exactly what we thought it would be. 48 hours sold out for lunch. More than 1,400 tickets. Pretty cool. 501 says being able to have your fastest guy, Stoutmeyer, on your self-proclaimed fastest guy or your self-proclaimed fastest guy at safety allows you to do certain things on defense. Usually your fastest guys are the corners. Reminds me when Arkansas had Michael Grant at safety in 2006. Houston could press coverage the other team's best receiver. I do like, hey, we all like speed, especially on defense. Keep from that big play from happening. Alex says, I think Silverfield will be just fine. All right, coming up next, we've got the Razor Hog update. We'll hear more from Stephen Souls and Carter Stoutmeyer. Then we have Coach Weatherford, Brian Weatherford from Glen Rose, discussing the game of the week. Glen Rose at Boxeye. Stick around.
Looking for a better deal on your next vehicle? Make the smart drive to Smart Auto Group. Since 1906, Smart Auto Group has been helping drivers find the right vehicle at the right price. Arkansas's oldest auto groups. Shop a huge selection of Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, and Honda vehicles, all backed by the hometown service you can trust. You'll find great selection and great value at Smart Auto Group. Make the smart drive today and start saving at smartdrive.com.
Everybody knows the Brad Hendricks Law Firm is famous for car wrecks, big truck crashes, and medical negligence cases. But they do a lot more than that. They help good people who can benefit from bankruptcy. And they also help older folks who had their Social Security claims denied. When you need a lawyer, call the firm that is pure Arkansas, where you won't ever be just a number. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Genesis of Conway presents Craig O'Neill each week when he joins Roger, Baz, and Justin on Morning Mayhem. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Sports talk and entertainment.
I can't understand your food in your mouth.
That'll put a smile on your face.
I'm being serious. I can't understand a word you're saying.
KABZ, Little Rock.
The president of Arkansas Baptist College is out of a job after he says the school board of trustees fired him. In a statement, William Bill Walker Jr. says he was not given a reason for his firing when he asked the college's legal counsel. He is still listed on the college's website as president. Walker has been the college's president for nearly a year. And Jacksonville Elementary will be closed again this morning. District officials say the final air quality testing report was not in as of Tuesday afternoon. The building has been undergoing a deep cleaning due to elevated mold levels. Crews are waiting for replacement parts to fix 3 malfunctioning air systems. Elementary students will be back at the Jacksonville High School campus starting today. For these stories and more, you can always head over to our website, krk.com. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KRK's Jessica Rockwell.
Benihana Special, $5. Your choice, sushi rolls and chicken fried rice, $5. Come see us at Benihana Bar Monday through Wednesday, lunch and dinner.
With KARK's Juliana Cullen.
Showers and storms back in the forecast late this afternoon into this evening, and some could be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts as the main threat. So let's stay weather aware for today. Most of that will push out of here by midnight tonight, and we have drier and hotter weather for the rest of the work week and into the weekend. Next week, we can be back up in the triple digits. This is meteorologist Juliana Cullen with the Arkansas Storm Team for the Buzz Radio Network.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-746-0155. That's 800-746-0155. 800-746-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Hustler End of Year Sale happening now at Cabot Outdoors. Save big on select Hustler zero-turn mowers. Take home the X-Ride 60-inch or the 52-inch and 42-inch and get 0% financing for 42 months with approved credit at Cabot Outdoors. Don't miss the great deals on the Hustler lineup, built for performance and value. Cabot Outdoors, your trusted source for Hustler and DeWalt equipment. Get mowing today. CabotOutdoors.com or stop by Cabot Outdoors today.
It's Honda of Russellville's 47th anniversary celebration. Celebrate with big savings store-wide. Register to win a 2026 Honda HR Forest Edition 4-Track Sportman 4x4 with a powerful 518cc engine and long travel suspension to tackle every job and trail. It's Honda of Russellville, Arkansas's #1 Honda powerhouse dealer. Visit HondaofRussellville.com today. Honda recommends the Foreman for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Is that a new bump on your dog's neck? Or is that bump just a part of his neck? Could be a bug bite or something way worse.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Wait, there's another bump right by the first bump.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Southland Casino Hotel is turning 70, and we're celebrating big. Legacy of Luck happens every Friday and Saturday through September 6th. 840 winners will share more than $400,000 free play. Weekly winners receive 70 grand finale drawing tickets. Then on September 7th, don't miss the grand finale. 70 winners will share more than $40,000 free play or drive away in a 1956 Bel Air. Southland Casino Hotel. Bigger wins, bigger excitement. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Randy Rainwater from Drive Time Sports. Join Rick Schaefer and I every afternoon on Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. We'll talk with great guests like Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Trey Biddy, Hogsports.com, Kevin Bohannon, and a whole lot more. It's all right here from 4 to 7 on 103.7 The Buzz.
Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios, it's Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right, it's time for your Razor Hog update. We got to hear from Steven Souls and Carter Stoutmeyer yesterday. Souls plays at jack position on the defensive line. Souls, the star position, kind of hybrid guys, both defensive players. So they were asked about KJ Jackson now that he's been named the starting quarterback. We'll start with Steven Souls.
I was just going to say his confidence. You know, he always is out there screaming and yelling, not crazily, but, like, you can tell he kind of not controls the vibe, but, like, he's quarterback one for a reason. I would say, like, he's not just, you know, waiting for the rep to start. Like, he can control the offense. I can say that. Like, as a defensive player, I can tell he's poised. You know, he snapping at guys, telling guys to go here, go there, talking to the running back at the same time type stuff. So I would just say you could tell he's very confident.
From what I've seen throughout camp, whenever we have, like, situations, like 2-minute situations, I feel like he's really, like, poised under pressure and stuff like that. So I feel like that's a big key for a quarterback. How can you perform and, like, the pressure is, like, really on, time to make plays. In the half, in the game, start of the half, those 4 minutes are usually some of the most important minutes of the game. The end of the first half and the start of the second half. So being able to have a quarterback that is really able to be, like, poised and, like, situations like that, I feel like that is somewhere where he does excel at. So
Then we get to hear from Souls. Last year at Kentucky, he played more of a linebacker role, but they blitzed him a lot. He got after the quarterback, hence his nickname, Sack'em Souls. This year he's playing on that not Joker. I always want to call it the Joker position. It's the starts with the J. The
Jack.
Jack, thank you. The Jack position. What's up, Jack? And so he is getting after the quarterback more, playing on the line of scrimmage, but he also drops back in coverage. Here's him on what he's improved the most playing this new role, the Jack position at Arkansas.
I see my first 2 years at Kentucky, I was just kind of rushing the passer. Here, I'm getting in on some first, second down, so being able to really read an offense or expect what's coming, being able to communicate and not just go on the field and think pass rush, actually relay, talking to Stout on the whole other side, screaming at him, improving the brain of the game.
So he's not only just a pass rushing specialist from that linebacker position they played at Kentucky, now he's an every down back. He is playing all three downs, stopping the run, getting after the quarterback, sometimes dropping back in coverage. Look for Stephen Souls to have a very nice year for Arkansas. I think he's going to be one of the when it's all said and done, if he stays injury-free, he's going to be one of the guys on defense at the end of the year that you say, you know what, that was he was one of the big pieces of that defense. And I would put Quincy Rhodes in that category. I would put Kamari House in that category. I put Joker Johnson in that category. And it's funny listening to Connor Goodson, no one's talking about Bradley Shaw. And really, we're not. We haven't talked about the linebackers that much with Bradley Shaw and Quay Smith. And feels like that they could be big contributors on this defense for Arkansas. We'll talk more Razorbacks football in a bit. We'll take some more phone calls and hit the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Right now we're going to talk about the Buzz Game of the Week. It is Glen Rose at Bauxite, and Trip Keeter and company will be there Friday night to broadcast the game live on 103.7 The Buzz. Glen Rose's head coach, Brian Weatherford, joins us now on Out of Bounds. Coach, welcome in. How are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, Wes?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to catch back up with you. All right, we talked at the Big Miller Media Days. What have you seen out of your team? How has Glen Rose grown since then?
Well, we've gotten a little tougher, I think. We'll find out Friday night. I think the Bauxite tends to bring out the best in us, and we bring out the best in them. So we'll find out when it gets all kicked off.
Now, we had Coach Perry on yesterday, and it sounds like these are two physical teams. When these two teams get together, it's going to be some kind of smash-mouth, old-school football.
Well, it is. It is. It's a little different, in how we go about things, but it's than they used to be. When Coach Watson was there, they were going to run the split back veer, and we were running the eye, and we're both kind of spread now, doing all that spread stuff. But it's still, I love the power, and we're going to run the power. We're going to find a way to get it in there, and try to make it a smash mouth game. Nobody really wants to play that way anymore. They want to sling it out to the sides and all that kind of stuff. We want to see if people actually want to hit people in the mouth. So, yeah.
Coach, how would you describe your philosophy then? You said you like smash mouth, but you do some spread. So how would you describe your philosophy that you bring in to this season?
Well, we just we want to be multiple. I mean, you got to spread people out. Kids kind of like that better, I think. They do great, and our kids respond to it. Have for a long time around here. We've been spread, so that's where I've always been. I played in an offense that was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I'm still kind of that way as a D coordinator. You're trying to keep them to. Back when I was the D coordinator, I mean, you don't want to give up 3 yards, on a play. You want to try to hold them. And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get 3 to 4 yards every play. And that's what we talk to our kids about. and everybody talks about big plays and stuff in the passing game, all that kind of stuff. But we get 4 yards of play and have a 15-play drive. That's determination. That's discipline. That's physicality in itself. And it is demoralizing to the defense and to the stands. I mean, people just get where they're kind of sitting on their hands. So, put it on the 1 yard line and let's go. Let's see who's going to score. Let's see who's going to win.
How do you find balance in that? Is it based on matchup, or is it about situational once you get into a game?
It is. I mean, it's, if they got 7 in the box, it's tough to run, but there's going to be a lot of times you'll see us. We're going to run even if they do have 7 in the box in the spread. So, and we've done it in the past. I mean, several games, people knew that we were going to run, and it didn't matter. They couldn't stop it. It is matchups. I mean, we are going to throw. We do have Gage Hood, and Gage Hood he's got a great arm, but he's also got great legs too. And we are going to run the power, and we are going to run the power read. So with him, that's the thing. He's just as good running the ball as he is throwing it.
Brian Weatherford joins us, head coach of the Glen Rose Beavers. Coach, this is going to be a fun matchup of two quarterbacks, two exciting quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wyatt Foreman is good. He's got great feet. Last year in junior high, I think they poured it on us pretty good with him. So he's good, and he can also beat you with his arm. Just watching the scrimmage, I mean, he's tough to handle. I'm telling you. But Gage has grown a lot this past summer, and has done a great job for us making better decisions on where to throw the ball, and we're just really, really pumped for this matchup at Bauxite.
How about rest of offense around that quarterback? Your running backs, receivers, tight ends, offensive line. What do they bring to the table?
No, I'm telling you, it's not just Gage. We got weapons at receiver. You got John Van. He can run like a deer. I mean, he's something else, and we're going to run him too. Carson Harrison is a running back. It's just hard to tackle, the little guy. I'm telling you. I mean, he is explosive, and he can really go. Leighton Baldwin, during fall camp, he's really come on catching the ball. It's just Darren Battle. He's our H. He was a running back last year, so I mean, we can still, we can mess with people with him being there at the H back, still running the ball. And that's the thing. They all block for each other. They get after it. I mean, it's a complete team effort. Up front, Riley Cox kind of anchors everything for us. Braxton Burgett, again, two seniors that played together, last year and this year. So I mean, the only new guy really is Liam Stevens. Liam Stevens is a junior for us, but he's really come on. He's grown a lot over the off season. Just come on really, really big for us. Chase Milroy is our another one of our linemen. Sebastian Williamson. Both of those guys are just really love Sebastian. I mean, he's nasty. He's the prototypical Glen Rose lineman. Just gets after you, plays through the whistle. I mean, he's just amazing to watch. And then you've got on the other side, on the outside, you've got we got a young guy. His name's Connor Youngman. Carson Matthews is still kind of fighting for that spot. So we're really excited about those guys and about just going and getting under the lights and showing out, just turning it loose.
We're talking with Brian Weatherford. He's the Glen Rose head coach. He joins us on the Network Services Group hotline. Coach, what does this game mean for Glen Rose and Bauxite, these communities?
Well, it's a rivalry game. My son, does the PA here at Glen Rose, Aaron Weatherford, and he was telling me that he'd looked up some stuff, and it looked like this is the 50th meeting between both schools. But it's a rivalry game. We still have several kids that live in Saline County. We're kind of split half and half of our district is in Saline County. So a lot of the kids go to Benton and they see them running up and down the street and all that kind of stuff, and we're at different stores. So it's kind of a bragging rights game, no doubt. We got the best of them last year. They had gotten the best of us for several years, but it's always been a dog fight every time we played, pretty much, and it should be that way again Friday night.
How about you? What are the emotions like? I know you've coached for a long time, but you got a different role this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of surreal, I guess. It's be the first time to be there making all those decisions. I'm just so thankful to the Lord that He gave me the opportunity, and to be a part of it. Again, we got great kids. Our kids bought into everything we've done, offensively and defensively, since we took over. Really didn't change much, just a few little things. I can't thank the guys that I coach with enough. I mean, Brandon Naskey, Wade Matlock, and offensive coordinators Wade Matlock, Brandon Naskey, and then on top of that, Coach Keener. Coach Keener lets us coach. He gets after us if we're not coaching, and so thankful for that. But he keeps us on the toes, and he does a great job as athletic director, allowing us to be able to do what we need to do to be successful and to win.
Who keeps him on his toes?
No, his wife, Miss Kelly. She keeps him on his toes. So anyway, yeah. But he's, I'm telling you, he's just been awesome. And I coached under him for, forever, just about, 24 years we've been together. He was the D coordinator when I first got here, and I was D-line coach and helped with O-line, all that kind of stuff. So I've been under him for a long time. And we tried to use some of the things that he had done in the past, when I took over. Not that anything really changed, when Coach K was here. But just a few little tweaks here and there. So I'm trying to bring some stuff back, so that we've done in the past.
Coach, it was good to catch back up with you. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, have a great season, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Brian Weatherford joining us on the Network Services Group hotline Friday night right here on the Buzz. Trip Keeter on the call. Glen Rose at Bauxite. All right, let's go to the Milton Heat and Air text line real quick. Start with TP in Little Rock. Wes, Joe, no one cares who's well-spoken on the team or who's the fastest, but you can play when the lights come on. Normally after game one, I can tell what kind of team we will have. My sleeper is Auburn this year. All right, that is a good sleeper to pick. I disagree that no one cares about who's well-spoken. No one wants to hear an interview with a guy that's not very well-spoken, and it's just blah. You like a little personality on your team. I guarantee you, Carter Stoutmeyer and Steven Souls have made some fans, some Razorback fans. I really like those guys after that press conference yesterday, and I truly know people do care who the fastest is on the team. That's why the media is always asking. They want to know. Heck, we've tried to put some races together in the past to find out truly who is the fastest, because you'll have a group of guys saying and claiming they are the fastest on the team. There's something about having the title of fastest.
Well, hopefully as a team, we see a lot of team speed. That's what will make you put you in a position to make plays.
501 writes back in and says, I'll tell you this in another way. He was talking about the defense, and having Stoutmeyer allows you to play different types of coverages to have that kind of speed on the defense. He says for the defense to stay fresh, add 2 or 3 3-and-outs to every game. They can help themselves by getting off the field. Yeah, not only can the offense help by having long drives and letting the defense rest, but the defense can also decide how much they play by getting 3-and-outs and go back to the bench. See here, we got this picture sent in. The King's Guard performed a rendition of Dolly Parton's iconic 9 to 5 outside Buckingham Palace to honor the late country music legend. I saw that last night on social media. That was really cool. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. JW asks, who do you think has more pressure on them? Ron Roberts, the defensive coordinator, or Tim Cramsey, the offensive coordinator, or Ryan Silverfield? But everybody knows he's going to get another year no matter what. Yeah.
Defense, maybe. And we don't know about pressure as a whole, but fan base wants to see better defense than we've seen in recent seasons. So that's where a lot of people will be focused on to see how good that defense can be compared to what it's been.
I say, too, Cramsey, you can make a case because he's filling the shoes of Bobby Petrino. And the offense was explosive last year and was entertaining, at least. It was frustrating, but it was entertaining. You always felt like if you can get a stop or two, you got a chance because the offense is going to put some points on the board. And, he's got to live up to that to try to keep producing points. You go from a fun offense, explosive offense to watch to a sputtering offense. That could be a lot of pressure.
Pressure probably is more on players, though.
Yeah.
Players to show that it's different.
And I think, too, with Roberts, the defense was so freaking bad. We talked about this. They gave up 37 points per game in the SEC. If you improve by a touchdown, that's still 30. That's not great. That's not good. But still, that's 7 more points a game that you've gotten better. So there's a lot of room for improvement.
It gives you a chance at that point, a better chance.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Stephen Davis, the voice of the Arkansas Travelers, will join us. They're out on the road. See how the road trip is going, although it's just underway. Also got to talk about Cade Anderson. Got the call up to the big leagues. Pitched okay Saturday. Pitched pretty well. Gave up a couple home runs. And we'll talk some Major League Baseball. All that's coming up next with Stephen Davis. This is Out of Bounds.
Chris Kane joins Morning Mayhem each Monday to mix it up with the guys. Chris Kane on Morning Mayhem is presented by Trader Bill's. Trader Bill's, your one-stop shop for all things lake.
This is SportsCenter.
The SEC joined the Big Ten yesterday to oppose athletes leaving pro sports to return to college teams. The SEC voted unanimously that its institutions are not permitted to have an athlete on its rosters who has signed a contract with or been listed on a roster in the NFL, NBA, G League, or WNBA, or has previously declared for those drafts and not been properly withdrawn. The announcement comes after Louisiana judges allowed LSU to sign tight end Daquan Wright after he cleared waivers with the Cleveland Browns, and signed basketball player R.J. Luis Jr. despite signing multiple NBA contracts. The ACC, Big 12, and Notre Dame are expected to vote on similar policies soon. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
Hey, this is Trip Keeter. Don't miss the high school football game of the week with myself and Jackson Braswell. Every Friday night this football season, we'll be traveling the state to find the best matchups in high school football. It's brought to you by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, Roller Funeral Homes, Midtown Plumbing, and Entergy.
There's a place that pulses with possibility when you step through the door, where 1 second could change everything. That place is Oaklawn Hot Springs, home to a 24/7 smoke-free casino with more than 1,400 slots, over 30 table games, an exclusive high-limits area and sportsbook. And when you join Oaklawn Rewards, every play can earn points, comps, free play, and exclusive promotions, with new chances to win big every month. Join the fun. Plan your trip at Oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, McLarty Mazda and Volkswagen in North Little Rock has over 900 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. From cars and trucks to SUVs, you'll find all makes and models and something for every budget. Good credit, bad credit, or no credit, they'll work with you. Plus, with a 3-day exchange policy, you can shop with confidence, knowing you've got options after you buy. Take a look at McClartyVW.com. McClarty Mazda and Volkswagen in North Little Rock, where more choices mean more ways to save.
60-40. What does that mean to you? Well, if you're shopping at Lazy Boy of Little Rock, it means 40% off everything in the store. For every $100, you only spend $60. You work hard for your money. Now make your money go farther with Lazy Boy of Little Rock's Labor Day sale. 40% off across the store, upstairs, downstairs. Recliners, sofas, sectionals, tables, floor coverings, and accessories. 40% off at Lazy Boy of Little Rock's Labor Day sale. 1000 South Shackelford Road. Long live the lazy.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter Agents Jeff Hodge, Tony Smith, or Agent Jay Helm in Little Rock today.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, leaders in hay equipment with Vermeer hay products. HenardFoothills.com.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Stephen Davis coming up in just a few minutes. Had this right in after our discussion. Who's got more pressure, Ron Roberts or the defense? Ron Roberts on defense or Tim Cramsey on offense? 501 says there's more pressure on Roberts. It's expected his defense is better. If it's somehow worse, we will be in big trouble. It's also expected that Cramsey's offense won't put up numbers like Bobby's did. Pretty well known, the offensive talent of this year's team is inferior to last year's team. Goes on to write, one of the biggest measures of success people will judge Cramsey off of is turnovers. If he is able to cut down on the turnovers on offense substantially, it will be seen as an improvement. That's a good point. Not sure I agree with the talent on offense inferior to last year's team. Mike Washington, Taylon Green, talented dudes. Fernando drafted. Let's see what Chris Marshall. I think Chris Marshall is more talented than any wide receiver on last year's team. And I think Sutton Smith, when it's all said and done, along with Braylon Russell, will make people forget about Mike Washington, just like Mike Washington made people forget about Jaquindon Jackson. Almost forgot his name. JJ, that's how he got hurt the other day in practice, by the way. And offensive line, let's see what they have. But I think that's debatable. I don't think it's well known that the offensive talent this year is inferior to last year.
It's just unknown.
Mm-hmm. Let's bring in Stephen Davis, the voice of the Arkansas Travelers. They're on the road. What's up, Stephen? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Man, we're fantastic. And, football's almost here, so we've been talking a lot of football and SEC. Guys leaving NFL training camps to go play for LSU. So, yeah, that's been a kind of a topic the last couple of days. The craziness of college athletics.
I've heard they can't do that now.
Yeah, no, they've stopped it, and they actually put some teeth behind their rule and voted on that today and passed the punishments that will be handed out. So it'll be
amazing what happens when people go, well, we don't like what's going on. They get together and go, why don't we make a rule so it can't happen? And then they do. Amazing how that works.
Yeah. I've always said, you know who can stop all this madness? The adults in the room. Well, the adults got together yesterday, and they stopped, or at least they're trying to stop it.
Got to try something.
Yeah. All right. Road trip got off to a bad start last night.
Yeah, it was not a good homestand. I know you guys were following along last week. Travs were right there about every game last week. Didn't win any of them. Got swept at home, and it's tough right now because you're in the dog days of the season. It's hot. Guys aren't going to get promoted probably at this point because you're down to the tail end of the season, the last few weeks. but guys still want to finish strong. And you'd like to think, okay, well, if you play well as a group collectively, you're going to find some wins. But the Travs weren't getting that. Last night, it looked like they were going to get that. Played well in pretty much all facets, had a 6-1 lead going to the bottom of the ninth, and then the bottom just fell out of it. And you end up losing again last night in Wichita to open that series. So tough go right now for the Travs. The losses keep piling up, but there is still enough time for these guys to have some positive vibes to finish and finish strong, both collectively as a team and individually as a group before these guys disperse for the offseason and start looking ahead to next year.
Stephen, you mentioned that home stretch. Great thing about it is still had really good crowds, so a lot of support there for this team, and that's what you expect anytime they are at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Crowds were good last week, especially with as hot as it was. You know, it's tough when it's 100-plus degrees and school's in, but the crowds that were there on the weeknights were enthusiastic, and then, man, over the weekend it was just phenomenal. Friday and Saturday night were great. Even Sunday afternoon had a good crowd, but Saturday was one of the biggest crowds of the season. So kudos to the Travs fans. We love them, and they showed up in spades. Harry Potter night Saturday night really brought them out to the ballpark, and everybody had a good time. And, you know, it's tough when the team isn't winning in those ball games, but they were good games still. Competitive games. It wasn't like they were going the wrong direction from the get-go. So good crowds, and hopefully this next homestand coming up next week, the final homestand of the season, is more of the same, with the last chance for folks to see the Travs before next spring.
Stephen Davis with us on the Network Services Group hotline. We did have a Trav get the call up, and Cade Anderson made his Major League debut. What'd you think?
Yeah, I don't have to answer the question anymore about when Cade's going to the big leagues, which is nice, and it's awesome for him. It was a little bit unexpected. This was not a planned thing that the Mariners had laid out. It was a situation where Brian Wu had some shoulder soreness, and they wanted to push him back and give him a couple extra days. He was scheduled to start that game this last Saturday. He's actually starting today now. The Mariners are starting up here in about 30 minutes. So Seattle went, well, we've said Cade's our sixth starter right now in a 5-man rotation. Get Cade Anderson up here. So he got scratched from his start last Friday with the Travs and goes up to Seattle. And, you know, he did about what I expected him to do. He competed really hard. The final line doesn't look as well as he pitched, because the last 2 pitches he threw got hit out of the ballpark by a couple pretty darn good hitters. He's facing one of the best lineups in baseball, the Chicago Cubs. They're a phenomenal hitting team, and he had to face the top of that order for the third time. They're one of the top 5 lineups in baseball, going against the pitcher for the third time. They're the best lineup in baseball, going against the left-handed pitcher. Cade held him to 1 run his first 2 times through for 5 innings. They ran him back out for the 6th, right about that pitch threshold that he'd been on with the Travs, right about the innings threshold where he kept going with the Travs on that pitch count, and it just didn't work out for Seattle that day. They ended up winning the game, which was great, but I know Cade was frustrated by how it finished, but relieved that the team went on to win the game. So proud of him for the effort and competing most of all. But, you know, your big league debut, when it's that hyped up and that anticipated, you go out and you throw over 5 innings, you give up only a couple earned runs, you can't really be disappointed, I don't think, in how the kid pitched. And obviously the Mariners fans were fully behind him, and they're looking forward to his next start coming up this weekend.
Stephen, you mentioned how it was unexpected, and due to circumstance it happens, but is it common that players are called up at this time of year?
Yeah, it happens a lot in the big leagues. You know, when guys are needed, that's when they go. And the situation with Cade was a unique one this year, obviously, because of how he had dominated in the minor leagues. But it's not unusual to see guys get called up late August, 1st of September, especially when you hit September 1 and a couple more roster spots open up in the big leagues. So it does happen, and the situation for the Mariners right now, it made perfect sense to get Cade up there. And now the question becomes, and they still have to iron all this out, how do they handle it with 6 starters in the big leagues again? Because he's not going to go back down at this point. He's going to stay up there in Seattle. Do they go to a permanent 6-man rotation? Do they bump somebody to the bullpen? Do they piggyback a starter occasionally? It'll be interesting to see how they handle it to keep him in a rhythm, keep the other guys in a rhythm, but not overuse anybody to the point where you're trying to burn somebody out. But the Mariners playing well right now, just trying to keep their momentum going up there.
Stephen Davis with us on the Network Services Group hotline. Would Ryan Sloan be next in their pecking order if something, a couple things happened?
They haven't said that publicly, but Sloan has been so good this year, and it's been a lot of under-the-radar pitching because he's been the day after Cade Anderson, and then you get I don't want to say Cade fatigue, but Cade was so good on Fridays that Sloan would go out there on Saturdays, and it'd be more of the same, and maybe the team wins the game, maybe they don't, whatever happens, but his overall numbers aren't as good as Cade's. But in the second half, with the exception of a start or two, really even the last 3 months of the season, take out 1 or 2 starts, Ryan Sloan's been every bit as good as Cade Anderson. Strikeouts are high, walks are extremely low. He's working on that same pitch limit similar to what Cade had, and he's been working the same amount of innings lately, and he's a year and a half younger. So the question becomes, as you said, if something does happen in Seattle, how do they view him? Do they want to push him? Do they want to push that development for Ryan Sloan at this point, or do they find an alternate option? So we may find out, we may not. But for now, Ryan Sloan's a Trav. He's pitching really, really well, and I know the folks with the Seattle Mariners are really excited about the not just step forward that Ryan Sloan took this year, but the gigantic steps he's taken forward and how he's kind of lived up to what they hoped he might do this season when they were aggressively putting him in Double-A to start the year. And I think if he's not in the big leagues this year at some point, next year is definitely on the table. Maybe at the beginning of the year, maybe not. Who knows? But he's a kid that's going to have a great big league career whenever he does get there.
What's standing out to you right now, Major League Baseball-wise?
Say that again, Joe. Sorry.
What's standing out to you, MLB-wise? Whether players, teams, what's standing out right now?
Yeah, it's a situation where you're in the dog days of the season, and I think we've talked about this before. You get to the dog days, teams that are going well tend to keep going well. Teams that aren't going well tend to check it in a little bit. Now, there have been a couple reversals of that lately. The Royals stand out as a team that had really struggled this year. They're on a 9-game winning streak, almost out of nowhere right now. And the Mariners, back to the team we were just talking about, the Travs Parent Club. Seattle's won back-to-back series against the Cubs and Phillies. They've won the first 2 at the Phillies. They actually have a chance to sweep Philadelphia today. And it was a Phillies team that came in on a 9-game winning streak. So Seattle's played themselves in a good spot now in part of a really tough stretch in their schedule. They're right in that AL West race still with the Rangers and the Astros. From where we were last week when I was on with you guys in studio, the big league races haven't changed a whole lot. Everybody's just kind of been holding steady with where they are. This is the time of year, though, where these last few weeks of August, somebody can make a move. You get the 1st of September, and you put that pedal down, and all of a sudden a team that was playing well catches that turbo boost, they catch fire, and they make that run like the Tigers couldn't do last year in September when the Guardians caught them and made up that big deficit. So somebody's going to make a move here in the next couple weeks. It's going to be interesting to see who it is. I don't think the Royals are in a spot where they can make that move, even though they've just won 9 in a row, but somebody, whether it be the Red Sox catching fire again to make a spurt in the AL East, is it the Guardians again in the Central going to catch the White Sox this time, even though they're only 2.5, 3 games back? Is it something in the jumbled American League West, or does somebody in the National League go run down one of those big dogs that's been owning the division all year? So we'll see what happens, but it's a tough time of the year where you're in the heat of the dog days, and everybody's just kind of looking forward to where they can see the end of the season up there, whether it be playoffs or a chance to go on vacation.
Stephen, the big question, will the winner of the AL West finish above 500?
I'm going to say yes. The way the schedule works, I just feel like you play enough games in division, somebody's going to get there. Now, maybe not. It is mathematically possible, obviously, but I got to believe somebody's going to finish there. But right now, you look at it in the standings, first place is exactly 500. It's pretty wild to think about that you could have a 500 or worse team hosting playoff games, but that might be where we're headed with the American League West champ. But I still think the Astros could make a run again, as they've already had one, although they made an interesting change this week, relieving their GM, Dana Brown, of his duties, and Jim Crane, the owner, said, I'm in charge of baseball operations now for the rest of the season. The Rangers, obviously, we've talked about the talent they have just fought the injury bug a lot this season. And then, as we said, Mariners have turned it on, so they're not too far away from getting to 500. You still have 5 full weeks, plus the rest of this week in the big league season. So plenty of time for those teams to get to 500. I think somebody will. I don't know how you feel, Wes, but I'm always optimistic that somebody will get there and get hot.
That AL third wild card, you have 6 teams that are within 3 games of one another. Who do you like? Guardians, Rangers, Orioles, Mariners, Twins, Blue Jays, and then Tigers are a couple games behind there.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot, really, because you say, oh, that's a really competitive race, but none of those teams are at 500 even. They're all under 500 clubs, so it's kind of the same deal. You can throw that in. Is the AL West winner going to be 500 or better? Is the third AL wild card going to be 500 or better? I would say the odds of that happening are probably less just because of the way things have continued on here, but there are so many teams still involved that it really only takes one to catch fire. The Guardians, as we talked about, have done this recently. They did it last year, run down the AL Central champ. The Mariners were in the American League Championship Series last year. So were the Blue Jays. I mean, you look at it, the Mariners and Blue Jays actually play this weekend in Toronto, ALCS rematch from last year. They have the same record right now. And the Blue Jays are in last place in the AL East, and the Mariners are 2.5 games out of first in the AL West. So that's how wild the American League is right now and how jumbled it is. Somebody's got to make a move. Maybe they won't, and we'll be looking at it here in 3-4 weeks going, we've still got 5 teams that are all within 2 games of a wild card spot, and they're all 5 games under 500, which would just be wild that somebody's still going to be in that boat. So it comes down to health for a lot of these teams, but it's going to come down also to who's on your schedule, and are those teams in the race? Are you got good matchups? Are you playing a team that's maybe got one foot out the door already and isn't playing well and struggling a little bit? That could really be a difference maker for any of these clubs here down the stretch. It's not always who you play on the Major League Baseball schedule, but when you play them sometimes. And these last 5 weeks, somebody, again, I got to believe somebody's making a move in that American League wild card. And I don't know who I necessarily like in that group, because I'd still, if you're the Mariners, you're not thinking about the wild card. You're thinking about winning the division at this point. If you're the Guardians, you're not thinking about the wild card. You're thinking about catching the White Sox for the division. Same for the Rangers. Those teams are looking at division. Blue Jays are in a different spot, being in 5th. They're thinking, oh, can we get to the wild card and get to that? So everybody's in a different spot, but they all have one goal every night, which is to go win a game and just see where you are then the next day.
Stephen, are y'all back home next week?
Yes, Travs are back home next week. Final homestand of the season. Northwest Arkansas is in town. The Royals affiliate should be a good homestand. We got fireworks next Friday back at Dickey-Stevens Park, and then next Saturday, really unique night at the ballpark. It's going to be the first Travelers jersey retirement in 125 years of Travelers baseball. The 6th Hall of Famer who was inducted last year, Dick Allen, the first black player in team history, one of the all-time greats to ever put on a Travs uniform, will have his number 6 retired by the Travelers. We have Dick Allen bobblehead giveaway next Saturday as well. His son, Richard Allen Jr., will be there for the ceremony. So big weekend coming up next weekend for the Travs in the final homestand of the season.
Well, we will see you in studio next week. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming on today.
Sounds good, guys. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next Wednesday.
It's Stephen Davis joining us on the Network Services Group hotline. We'll wrap up second hour when we come back. We have an open segment. If you'd like to join us, we'll take phone calls, 661-1037. If you'd rather text us, I'll check out the Middleton Heat and Air text line. We'll get to your comments, reactions, questions next. It's Out of Bounds.
The Saracen Casino Hotel is now open and accepting reservations. Saracen's new 14-story hotel features 318 modern guest rooms and suites, offering luxe accommodations paired with the elevated amenities and the southern hospitality customers have come to expect from Saracen Casino Resort. And while you're at it, don't skip dinner at Red Oak, recognized as Arkansas's best restaurant for 5 years running. Book your stay with Saracen by visiting SaracenResort.com or calling Saracen today.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
The seasons are always changing, but one thing should stay the same: the comfort of your home. Let the heat and air professionals at B.R. McGinty keep your family warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Call today.
Looking for a better deal on your next vehicle? Make the smart drive to Smart Auto Group. Since 1906, Smart Auto Group has been helping drivers find the right vehicle at the right price. Arkansas's oldest auto groups. Shop a huge selection of Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, and Honda vehicles, all backed by the hometown service you can trust. You'll find great selection and great value at Smart Auto Group. Make the smart drive today and start saving at smartdrive.com.
Fried green tomato salad is back and better than ever at Eat My Catfish. It'll only be here for a limited time. Stop by or order online from any of their 5 Eat My Catfish locations to try this delicious fan favorite today. Eat fresh, eat local, Eat My Catfish.
Camping season is here, and Razorback Camper Sales in Hot Springs is liquidating all 2026 year model travel trailers and fifth wheels. If you've been thinking about a new trailer, now is the time to buy. One of the many great deals is a 20-foot Salem with bunk beds, power awning, plywood floor, and much more for only $14,990 or $150 a month. Hurry while the selection is good. All these great deals can be seen at RazorbackCamperSales.com.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car. You kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
Hey guys, Heath Boothby here, Crane Hyundai of Little Rock. Whether it's the huge inventory, the great deals, the specials, the #1 service department in Little Rock, come find out why me and my team are Little Rock's #1 dealership for sales and service. We have the Hyundai Getaway Sales event happening right now. 0% interest on all Tucsons and Santa Fe's, as well as just a multitude of discounts on everything else on the lot. Come see us, Crane Hyundai of Little Rock, off Colonel Glenn.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, selling and servicing Kubota's full line of equipment since 1991. HenardFoothills.com.
Wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, whoever you are. Hey, hey, I told ya, riding with my top down and my jury on. Hey, I'm just getting my hood on. I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. Hey, hey, hey. I said I'm riding with my top down and my jury on. Hey, I'm just getting my hood on. I'm in the hood.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Wes Moore. He's Joe Franklin. In today's crazy world of college football players trying to get a fifth year back, and some of them in NFL camps and trying to get cut so they can sign with these college teams, go back to college, and lawsuits, conferences making their rulings. Well, the NFL is having to try to come up with some policies. The NFL is going to inform teams that any player who returns to college will be prohibited with signing with an NFL team this season. So if you leave NFL camp, go back to college, and then finish college, you can't go back to the NFL this year. Now, that would be wild, right? To go from NFL training camp to a college football team, finish your college season, and then sign with an NFL team and finish out the year.
Yeah, I mean, that makes most sense of anything we've heard. So that's almost an obvious, but I guess they had to put it out just to make sure they were covered.
What lawyer's going to sue the NFL now?
Nah, there are endless possibilities, but that's one that's obvious. It's like, you never have been able to finish your college season and then go into a not all pro leagues, because baseball we know does that. WNBA, they finish their college career and then season starts about a month after. They have a draft and a couple months after. So it's not all, but that's an obvious for NFL.
Let's go to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. 501 writes back in. Been texting. I like that. One more thing, and I will leave you fine gentlemen alone. You don't have to. Look, that's part of the show. We go to the Middleton Heat and Air text line and read text. His SEC dark horse is Arkansas. My national dark horse is North Carolina. On coaching alone, they should be a top 25 team. Hey, they have recruited pretty well. Also, don't be surprised if Belichick and Petrino don't have the Tar Heels in playoff contention. Joe, I would be very surprised. if the Tar Heels make that big of a turnaround. With everything else that's going on inside the football department, they've gone through some drama. I don't know if it's affecting the locker room. Maybe those guys are stronger than that, and it's not a distraction. But that would be a heck of a turnaround to go from. I mean, we're hoping Arkansas can make a decent turnaround just to be relevant. Be in the college, be in the bowl discussion. Go from 2 to 6 wins, right? To go from what North Carolina was last year to playoff contention. That's a heck of a turnaround.
Person that sent that message, that just shows they believe in Bill Belichick and his coaching pedigree. What we'll hear from and what's trending, Paul Feinbaum, he had some harsh words for Bill Belichick. So there may be some support out there for him, but most people feel like that whole situation, not only now but from start, was a disaster.
All right, what are y'all's preseason NFL predictions? Who do you have winning each division? Who do you have in the NFC, AFC championship games and in the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl winner?
We'll actually get into some of that coming up in less than 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Season begins on we'll have to do it
on Tuesday. We'll do it on Tuesday. Yeah.
I'll be off on Wednesday the 9th. So Tuesday, less than 2 weeks from now, we'll do our predictions for every division and championship games. We do like Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year for offense, defense. We do a bunch of stuff.
Coach of the Year. So, yeah, we'll have plenty of predictions to go around.
We did Comeback Player of the Year. Do you have that from last year?
Yeah. I mean, we can get into some of that and see where it stood and what actually happened.
Yeah, I don't think I have that. I haven't run across it in all my notes. I was going back and cleaning things out because I collect so many things. My little notebook was full of stuff. I could hardly close it. I started going through it, and I had box scores from Razorback basketball games all folded up and put in there. I even had some of the our predictions from last football season. I'd write it down and tally the score and keep track of who was ahead, who was behind. I tossed all those, but I didn't see anything as far as our – I remember writing it down, though, because you printed out a sheet and I wrote everything down. I haven't stumbled across it yet. So if you have it.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, that's coming up. That'll be fun. One more preseason weekend this weekend. Got some games on Thursday, Friday. I think there was one game on Saturday, but most of the games are Thursday.
Right. This is the week that they try to give teams that extended break. And part of it is because you're getting your rosters down to 53, but also getting some kind of break going into season. Now, we know with those early games, those Wednesday, Thursday games, those teams won't have as long of a break, but for teams that are playing on Sunday, they're going to have a nice extended break before season starts between that last preseason game.
4 games tomorrow night: Steelers, Bills, Patriots, Browns, 49ers, Raiders. The Raiders game's on ESPN. We'll get to see Mike Washington another time. Rams, Chargers, and then you have 2 on Saturday: Lions, Colts, Bears, Titans. Everybody else is on Friday night. By the way, Carmona and the Bears on that Saturday afternoon is on the NFL Network. So you get to check out Fernando. Cowboys play Friday night, hosting the Saints. That's on ESPN Friday night, 7 o'clock. All right, let's see here. Go back to the Middleton Heat and Air text line real quick before the top of the hour. Guess it's a good thing Bill's girl isn't a blonde.
Yeah.
Boyd says Dallas will not be in the Super Bowl, maybe the Toilet Bowl. It's probably a pretty good prediction, Boyd. Pretty safe. Cowboys haven't been in the Super Bowl in a long time. Let's see. And the 501 writes back, if I'm wrong, Petrino may never coach again. He is probably going to the reputation as the head coach killer. Jimbo, Sam, Bill. I'm not bringing him in if my seat is hot. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, his last 2 head coaches that hired him have been fired. Hard to believe that the Saints have won a Super Bowl since the Cowboys have. That is hard to believe. But you know what? If we start going down the list, there are a lot of teams that have won the Super Bowl since the Cowboys have, or appeared in the Super Bowl since the Cowboys have, or been in the NFC Championship game since the Cowboys have. It has been a long, long drought. As great as the 90s were, it's been pretty rough since.
Knicks went 53 years without winning. They got it done. So, Cowboys may, if they wait another, 20 years? It'll be worth it whenever it happens.
Coming up, we got What's Trending. We'll have an open segment at 3:30. We'll get back to the Milton Heat and Air text line, and we'll take some phone calls. See what's happening around the nation when we come back. Stick around. Hour number 3, Out of Bounds.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
At Greenway Equipment, there's a face behind every handshake, a name behind every counter, and a set of hands that knows John Deere equipment the way you know your land. Greenway has spent years building something that won't show up on a spec sheet. A team that takes your work personally, that knows trust is grown, not given. So when you call, Greenway answers. Visit a location today or online at gogreenway.com.
Good news, your next luxury getaway is only a short drive away. At Oaklawn Hot Springs, stay in a Forbes recommended resort hotel. Unwind at Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa. And make dinner a destination at 2 Forbes recommended restaurants, the Bugler and the Oak Room and Bar. Add a 24/7 smoke-free casino, live entertainment, and all the thrills that make Oaklawn Hot Springs a premier resort destination. Join the fun. Plan your stay at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's where the big boys come to play.
This is madness! This is Sparta!
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock.
The president has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff in memory of Dolly Parton. Parton's family announced her death yesterday at the age of 80. They say it followed a brief battle with cancer. The icon rose from a humble log cabin upbringing in Tennessee, one of 12 siblings. She first sang at the Grand Ole Opry at 13 years old and was later inducted as a member in 1969. She won her first Grammy in 1974, getting 9 more in her life. She also starred in films including 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias, and a musical based on her life is set to open next year on Broadway on what would have been her 81st birthday. Her last public visit to Arkansas was 2022 when she spoke about the Imagination Library at the Governor's Mansion. She last performed in the state 10 years ago at Simmons Bank Arena. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Kara Kay's Jessica Rockwell.
The Labor Day sale at Lazy Boy of Little Rock. 40% off store-wide. 1000 South Shackelford. Long live the lazy.
With KARK's Juliana Cullen.
Showers and storms back in the forecast late this afternoon into this evening, and some could be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts as the main threat. So let's stay weather aware for today. Most of that will push out of here by midnight tonight, and we have drier and hotter weather for the rest of the work week and into the weekend. Next week, we could be back up in the triple digits. This is meteorologist Juliana Cullen with the Arkansas Storm Team for the Buzz Radio Network.
Morning Mayhem on location Thursday at Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway. The guys will be getting you ready for the huge end-of-season blowout sale. Next week only, save up to 75% off store-wide on select items, plus 50% off in-stock Pollywood furniture and more. That's Thursday with Morning Mayhem at Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway.
David and Roger are hitting the road this summer, celebrating the Morning Mayhem Summer of Adventure presented by Oaklawn Hot Springs. Keep it on the buzz to find out where they're heading next.
If you're a bank needing GLBA compliance or a defense contractor looking for CMMC compliance, meet the team at Network Services Group with tailored solutions to help you navigate the complex regulatory landscape, allowing you to focus on what matters most, your clients and your growth. Don't gamble with compliance. Network Services Group, your partner in GLBA and CMMC compliance.
Services Group. One call does it all. We got the big deals, the big rock.
Summer is quickly coming to an end, but you've still got some time to take advantage of some truly amazing deals here at Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram.
That's right, Terry. We've got 0% financing and no payments for 90 days on a huge selection of 1,500 trucks. And you can get up to $22,000 off of crew cab four-wheel drives.
So come see us and make this the summer at Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram, Alcoa Road in Benton, or online at chriscranecars.com.
Pain has changed, so has the treatment. Arkansas Spine and Pain isn't your ordinary pain clinic. Advanced interventional therapies can give patients like you options that go far beyond simply managing your pain. Their specialists work to identify the source of your pain and develop a treatment pathway designed to reduce pain, restore function, and get you back to living. Instead of just managing the pain, treat the pain. Arkansas Spine and Pain, not your ordinary pain clinic. Advanced treatments, better options, ASAP.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter Agent Paul Griffin in Monticello, Michael Ludwig in Greenbrier, or Agent Kyle Stone in Pine Bluff.
It's Honda of Russellville's 47th anniversary celebration. Celebrate with big savings store-wide. Register to win a 2026 Honda HR Forest Edition 4-Trax Foreman 4x4 with a powerful 518cc engine and long travel suspension to tackle every job and trail. It's Honda of Russellville, Arkansas's #1 Honda powerhouse dealer. Visit HondaofRussellville.com today. Honda recommends the Foreman for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Transform your life in just 20 minutes twice a week. That's exactly how it works at Max Strength Fitness, the ultimate anti-gym. No mirrors, no music, just private one-on-one strength training in a temperature-controlled, sweat-free studio. Efficient, focused, and it works. If you're 40 or older and want to get stronger, protect your health, and feel like yourself again, this is it. Check out their new location in West Little Rock at Candace and Autumn. Claim your 2 free workouts today at MaxStrengthFitness.com. Max Strength Fitness, 20 minutes twice a week, guaranteed.
Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios, it's Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
With my accountant lips, in fact, I'm down in this. You say with my boo babe, tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good, won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too petty once you let me do the extras.
What's trending in the world of sports is sponsored by Arkansas-based West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee and their 1.5 million coffee farmers around the globe as they fuel Arkansas with great tasting coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
Well, we were just talking about North Carolina and Bill Belichick. Bobby Petrino, Paul Feinbaum was also talking about Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. He's a grouch, he's a bully, and his career in college is about to go down in flames. He lost Michael Lombardi, his chief assistant and GM. His son disappeared from the staff a couple weeks ago as the defensive coordinator. It is mass chaos in Chapel Hill, and I don't believe they'll win this game in Ireland, and I don't think Bill Belichick is going to survive until the end of the season. Bill Belichick had to find a university that would offer him a job, and he would show the world that he is the greatest coach of all time. Instead, he's proven to be a disaster. He's one of the worst college football coaches in a short period of time I have ever seen, and I see no way this is going to be a successful landing or ending for Belichick.
Whoa. Could Bobby Petrino be an interim head coach 2 years in a row? Because the defensive coordinator, who was his son, is no longer with the team, so that would be the logical choice, I would think.
That would be an interesting situation.
Maybe if it, big if that happens, Petrino gets a second chance and turns it around and becomes a head coach again at North Carolina next year.
I don't know if Belichick would be let go mid-season. I think they'd let it play out. I mean, even if it looks like a disaster, I think they would, just because of who he is, respectably let him go in the season. Unless he decided, okay, I'm going to step away.
Oof. Just saw this. Lost my train of thought. Where'd it go? I'll keep looking for it. Major League Baseball. Diamondbacks, Cubs.
Ryan Waldschmidt way back to left field, and the Cubs comeback is complete.
Cubs win it. No, Diamondbacks win it.
Yeah, it sounded a little confusing because he said Cubs comeback complete. No, it's Diamondbacks comeback complete.
Yeah, that threw me off. I got 5-4.
Ryan Waldschmidt way back to left field, and the Cubs comeback is complete.
What the hell's he talking about?
Comeback on Cubs complete, but not Cubs comeback complete.
Yeah. That was odd. Diamondbacks win 5-4. Let's go to the Guardians and Angels. They go to extra innings.
Right center field. That's getting the alley. That'll go the wall. Rocchio scores. Here comes Kwan. Here's the throw to the plate. Safe. Jose Ramirez does it again.
And the Guardians win it 8-6 in 10 innings. Next up, we'll check on the Pirates and the Padres.
Driven down the line, and Cruz has given the Pirates the lead. How about that for a big home run? No one's done it in a year except for O'Neal Cruz. The Pirates on top in San Diego.
And he hits it on the ground. Hamilton coming home. Throws it away. The Mets win the ball game.
That was it. That was your final score. 1-0. Paul Skeens, 6 shutout innings. 3-hitter. In fact, Pirates held the Padres to 3 total hits. As 3 relievers came in, pitched 1 inning apiece of hitless ball. 2 base runners total for the Padres, or 5. They had 2 walks, 3 hits. So great pitching performance. Pirates get the victory, 1-0. Mets, Brewers, they go to extra innings.
Lindor cracks one to deep left center field, and that'll tie up the game. Francisco Lindor with his 13th home run of the year on an 0-2 pitch. And the Mets get it, and it's 1-1.
They go to extra innings. Mets win it 3-2 in 10. We wrap it up with the Red Sox and Marlins. They also win extra innings.
High fly, center field deep. Ruiz backing up all the way to the wall. He's done it again. The Mick strikes again. His second home run tonight. Everyone's got their hands in the air like, you gotta be kidding. He destroys another one. Home run number 5. Swinging a high drive. Deep right. Konai back. And it's gone for a grand slam. Jaron Duran with a granny.
That was a great roar right there. When the ball is in the air, you can just hear the entire stadium. They knew it was gone. 7-3 your final. Red Sox beat the Marlins in 11 innings. Earlier today, ESPN announced that the ticker for college football games is going away. So no longer will you have scores of the top 25 scrolling across the bottom of your screen. They're taking it away, and that'll give you less graphics to take away from the action on the field. I got to say, I'm lazy. I look at that ticker a lot during a football game just to catch up on what's going on, or maybe see a game, another good game that's going on that I need to flip it over and watch that game. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Maybe ESPN was losing some people, some viewers to games that would be on Fox or NBC or some alternate channel. But I look at the ticker a lot. I think I'm going to miss it. Now, because I'm lazy, I'll just have to pick up my phone and look look at Yahoo or ESPN or somebody and see what some of the college football scores are. But I thought it was odd in this day and age of, graphics and always coming up with the new and latest things and more information on the screen. They're taking away information on the screen, especially if it's sponsored. Surely that ticker was sponsored by some company, right?
They'll find that money somewhere else. That's what they'll do.
Just found it odd. That's an odd decision to me to take the ticker away.
News on a couple of families getting into ownership. NFL owners voted and unanimously approved sale of Seahawks to Khosla family. And then Bus family has been in the news lately, but two Bus brothers, Joey and Jesse, have joined Padres ownership, and they're going to have a 5% stake. So we know that Seahawks sale was record for NFL, but not overall record because Lakers just set that overall record.
Thomas Castellanos has committed to Texas Tech. The former quarterback has played at Florida State, Boston College, and Central Florida. Has over 6,000 yards career passing and 48 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 24 touchdowns. So found his fourth team going to Texas Tech. Texas Tech, of course, in the market with their quarterback still battling back from injury, and Sorsby gone. But they have added, kind of late, huh? 2 weeks before the season begins. I guess a quarterback, just in case, an emergency quarterback. Maybe he is in there as a backup in case something happens to the starter if he's able to come back. It's kind of odd this late in the game to be adding a quarterback. I could see some other position players that you can hopefully teach the offense or defense to. But a quarterback this late in the game, he's going to be kind of behind the ball learning the offense.
And fortunate for that quarterback that he was able to find a spot at this point.
Yeah, that's very lucky. All right, you found the predictions from last year?
Yeah, we're going to do some comparison here to see how we fared, and just kind of looking at it. I don't know if we fared well, but maybe we got some playoff teams. But I'll tell you, we can start with our Super Bowl predictions. We both had Commanders, and we know that was a no-go. And I had Commanders Bills. You had Commanders Bengals. So neither one of them were playoff teams.
Those injuries can play a factor in your predictions. No Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow going down.
And interestingly enough, that both of them are on quarterback.
Yeah.
They thought that they were going to have really good years, and they were injury plagued. So Bills, they were a playoff team, and we both predicted them to win division, AFC East. They did not, but they were a playoff team. So that's one wrong that we both got wrong. Patriots won that division. AFC North, I went Ravens, you went Bengals. Steelers won that division. AFC South, we both went Texans. And at first thought, Texans, they were a really good playoff team. They didn't win division. Jags won. Jags went on that long winning streak, and they ended up winning division.
Wow. Yeah, I'd have lost a bet there. I thought the Texans did win the South.
AFC West, I went Broncos. Broncos won. You went Chiefs.
Nice pick.
Yeah, and then as far as playoff teams, we went wildcard teams. I went Steelers, Chiefs, Chargers. Steelers and Chargers made playoffs. You went Dolphins, Ravens, Chargers. Chargers made playoffs. Dolphins, Ravens didn't. All right, NFC East. We both went Commanders. We both had Commanders in Super Bowl. Eagles won. Lions, Packers for NFC North. Bears won. We both went Falcons. NFC South. Panthers won. We both went Rams. NFC West. Seahawks won. As far as wildcard teams, I went Eagles, Bears, Packers, They all were playoff teams.
Yep.
You went Cowboys, Eagles, Lions.
Ugh.
Eagles were
the only
playoff
one.
team.
I heard last night on national radio, on average, it's right at almost 6, close to 7 teams every year that made the playoffs the year before do not make it the next year.
Yeah. And so for AFC wildcard, don't remember if we said that, but it was Chargers, Texans, Bills. NFC wildcard, Rams, 49ers, Packers. And we can see if we can look at some of these awards and how we fared there. We can find this complete list. But for MVP, we both went Jaden Daniels. We know Matt Stafford won. Coach of the Year, I went Sean McDermott. He was fired. And you went Jim Harbaugh. Mike Vrabel won. Comeback Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson for me. Dak Prescott for you. Christian McCaffrey won. Offensive Player of the Year, I went Jahmyr Gibbs. You went Jamar Chase. We both went receivers. I went Jahmyr Gibbs, running back. A receiver won in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Defensive Player of the Year, I went T.J. Watt. You went Max Crosby. Myles Garrett won. So we were in ballpark with, we thought it was going to be a pass rusher. A pass rusher won. Offensive Player of the Year, I went Offensive Rookie of the Year. I went TreVeyon Henderson. You went Ashton Jeanty. Ted McMillan, Carolina Panthers receiver, won.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, I went Abdul Carter. You went Michael Williams. Carson Schlesinger, Browns linebacker, won. And I believe that may be, that's it.
You definitely won that competition. That was not good at all.
It was more about teams that were playoff teams, but as far as awards, we went over there.
I was looking at the playoff teams. Packers, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks. 14 playoff teams. Eagles, Bears, Seahawks, Panthers, Rams, 49ers, and Packers in the NFC. AFC, it was Denver, New England, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, wild card, Houston, Buffalo, Chargers. 14 teams. Out of those 14 teams, 6 or 7, history shows, won't make the playoffs this year. Isn't that something? I mean, it's just proven year after year. Because I look at it, and it seems like Eagles, Seahawks. I can see throwing out the Panthers because of the NFC South. It's a crapshoot. Rams, 49ers, Packers. Last year, I heard this on national radio over the weekend. The NFC West, how loaded it was with the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. They won 13, 12, and 12 games, regular season games, and arguably one of the toughest divisions. If you take the top 3, if you call the worst team in the division, of course, that's the best division. I was like thinking to myself, how in the world did they win 13, 12, and 12, and they're playing each other, giving some, obviously each other some losses. You know who their divisions they played last year, the NFC West?
Let's see, from AFC, they played
the South.
Yeah, AFC South. That makes sense. But
and the NFC South.
Okay.
The West was matched up with, on paper, the 2 worst divisions. And that's where they racked up on all their wins. And so it got me thinking, is there a division this year that's playing both the NFC South and the AFC South? Because that may be, the best schedule in football, and take advantage of it. But this year, the AFC South has the NFC North, and the NFC South has the AFC West. just worked out last year for the NFC West. They got they got a very beneficial schedule.
Yeah.
A lot was said about the Packers, the Patriots getting a very beneficial schedule. They had a last place schedule. This year, much tougher for the Patriots.
You know what's always interesting too is division record within division.
Mm-hmm.
There was a team last year, and it's not showing in standings, but they actually had a losing record in division and won that division. They were 2-4.
Wow.
And they won the division.
I would guess Carolina. I would just guess that.
No, let me see. Have to look through and see. But yeah, that was crazy to think about that they had a losing record in division. Yeah, because usually you would see that team would be at least 500, 3-3.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the Steelers, was it?
No,
you would have remembered
they
that.
didn't go. Yeah, they didn't go 2-4. And for some reason, when standings come up, it's not
showing division
records.
Showing conference record, but not division.
It just shows home and away.
Oh,
Patriots 8-0 away. That's where they won. That's where they really made some way throughout their schedule.
It is hard to call 6 or 7 playoff teams from last year. Just looking at it on paper. Eagles, Bears, Seahawks, Panthers, Rams, 49ers, Packers. I mean, if I had to call 3 of those, like 3 from each conference, no, it may not work out that way. It could be 4-2, 5-1, or maybe it's not a year where there's 6 or 7. Maybe it's only 3 or 4. But I could call the Panthers pretty easily. If you make me, I could call – I'd like to call the Eagles and say the Cowboys kick them out of the playoffs and they don't make a wild card. NFC, Denver, I like the West. New England, I think they're, even with a tougher schedule, I think they're solid. Jacksonville, you could make an argument. Pittsburgh, I guess you could make an argument with the new staff. Houston, offense, if it's just god-awful and it's only defense, I could say that. I feel like Buffalo will be back. I feel like the Chargers will be back. I think the AFC West could be this year's version of the NFC West, where you have 3 teams in the playoffs with the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. Take advantage of playing that NFC South.
Okay, here it is. Found that division winner. They won 11 games, went 11-6, 2-4 in division. So with an 11-6 record, it wasn't Panthers.
No.
Panthers were 8-9.
Bears?
And you had 3 teams NFC South that were 8-9, and Panthers won because of their division record and because of tiebreakers. But yeah, Bears 2-4 in division, and they won. Lions also were 2-4. They were last in division. Packers, Vikings, they were both 4-2 in division, and they both won 9 games.
That's a wild stat for you. Well, we'll have our official picks in less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday, we'll do that and give you what we think will happen in the take it with a grain of salt, obviously, because it wasn't very good last year. Coming up next, we do have an open segment. If you would like to join us, 661-1037. Also would like to take some phone calls. If you want to jump in here, come on. 661-1037. We've been talking NFL. We can talk Razorbacks football. It is Out of Bounds.
David and Roger are hitting the road this summer, celebrating the Morning Mayhem Summer of Adventure presented by Oaklawn Hot Springs. Keep it on the buzz to find out where they're heading next.
This is SportsCenter.
The SEC joined the Big Ten yesterday to oppose athletes leaving pro sports to return to college teams. The SEC voted unanimously that its institutions are not permitted to have an athlete on its rosters who has signed a contract with or been listed on a roster in the NFL, NBA, G League, or WNBA, or has previously declared for those drafts and not been properly withdrawn. The announcement comes after Louisiana judges allowed LSU to sign tight end Daquan Wright after he cleared waivers with the Cleveland Browns, and signed basketball player R.J. Luis Jr. despite signing multiple NBA contracts. The ACC, Big 12, and Notre Dame are expected to vote on similar policies soon. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
Attention homeowners. Is your home insurance getting too expensive? Is the price of your home insurance going up every year and your agent does nothing to help? There is a solution. McGee Insurance in North Little Rock. McGee Insurance in North Little Rock offers several top-rated home insurance companies, which means you'll get the best coverage with the best price from the friendliest agents. Their hundreds of 5-star reviews can't be wrong. Get a free, fast home insurance quote from McGee Insurance in North Little Rock today. To call, text, or submit a quote request, visit their website, McGeeINS.com. McGeeINS.com. That's McGeeINS.com. Or stop by McGee Insurance on JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Fire your home insurance company and hire McGee Insurance in North Little Rock today.
There's a place that pulses with possibility when you step through the door, where 1 second could change everything. That place is Oaklawn Hot Springs, home to a 24/7 smoke-free casino with more than 1,400 slots, over 30 table games, an exclusive high-limits area and sportsbook. And when you join Oaklawn Rewards, every play can earn points, comps, free play, and exclusive promotions, with new chances to win big every month. Join the fun. Plan your trip at Oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Auto Group, and I'm working today. And today, as always, we're fighting where other dealers are advertising online prices that they actually don't give. You walk in the store, they're at $1,900, $2,900, or they're saying you don't qualify for this rebate or that rebate. And of course, we have to explain that to the customers. It had me thinking, they're probably explaining to their customers that we do the same thing. Well, we do not. Whatever you see online at RedRiverAutoGroup.com will be the price you get. Check us out, RedRiverAutoGroup.com.
The Hustler end of year sale happening now at Cabot Outdoors. Save big on select Hustler zero-turn mowers. Take home the X-Ride 60-inch or the 52-inch and 42-inch and get 0% financing for 42 months with approved credit at Cabot Outdoors. Don't miss the great deals on the Hustler lineup, built for performance and value. Cabot Outdoors, your trusted source for Hustler and DeWalt equipment. Get mowing today. CabotOutdoors.com or stop by Cabot Outdoors today.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy carries Steel full line of handheld equipment. HenardFoothills.com. Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
Where you move, you took me higher than I ever flew.
Sorry, I was reading something on Twitter. This is interesting. We'll get to your text in just a second, or your phone call, 661-1037. So, the NFL is coming out with a new policy. Beginning this season, the NFL will place greater emphasis on 5 player health and safety rules violations: hip drop tackle, horse collar tackle, launching, hit on a defenseless player, and the blindside block.
Only one that's really new in that equation is hip drop. There's been emphasis on those others for years.
Players who commit 3 offenses in any of these categories during a season will be suspended 1 game. Players who commit only 1 violation will receive 50% of their fine back at the end of the season. While violations in these categories will carry forward to subsequent seasons, all players will begin 2026 with a clean slate. Players will also have a clearer and faster path to reducing the impact of prior offenses than under the previous system.
That's great for players that do commit an offense. If it's only 1, then they're kind of rewarded for basically learning a lesson and not making the same mistake over.
As Brian Fisher writes for Sports Illustrated, he says it's basically the yellow card coming to the NFL. You get 3 of these and you're out for a game. Hip drop tackle, horse collar, launching, hit on a defenseless player, blindside block. That's interesting.
Yeah, hip drop is the one that is new to players also within the past couple of seasons, so that's one they're still adjusting to. The others, they've been around, and so players know better, and sometimes it's a bang-bang impact, and it's hard to avoid, but for the most part, they've tried to kind of adjust as best as they can and go by those rules.
Yeah, the blindside block, you've seen them adjust really well for that. It's rare that you see a blindside block anymore. You see a receiver, somebody instead of a crackback, just kind of getting in the way and putting their arms up and just make the player run around them. Still see launching from time to time. Horse collar, you'll see a guy grab the horse collar and try to let go. But yeah, the accumulation of penalties is something new to keep an eye on. Middleton Heat and Air text line. Raider says, good afternoon, fellas. Love the show. Thank you, Raider. Not only should they have rules against returning to college sports from pro sports, I think they should put budget caps on sports, such as $20 million on football. And if you get paid to play one sport, you can't play another sport at that school. I also think they should go back to enforcing 5 years maximum eligibility. Case in point, go look up this year's experience with Virginia's offensive line. The 5 starting linemen have 36 years of college football experience combined. Later, Raider. 36 years of college football experience combined?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
like somebody has some 7 years in there.
That is, I got to look that up. That is guys that have several guys on their 6th year. They've had their redshirt year and a medical redshirt also. That's wild. Cap would be great. That's been talked about. The legality of that has been what's debated. I don't agree if you play one sport, you can't play another at the school. Because we've seen that in several different sports. Whether it's football to basketball, football to baseball, football to track. There are guys that play multiple sports, and if you can do it, do it.
Yeah, I mean, what it is you can't be on scholarship, which makes sense.
Well, you got to be on football scholarship.
I'm saying you can't be on an additional scholarship. You can't be on 2 scholarship sports.
Maybe he's saying cut out the rev sharing. Instead of getting rev share for football and rev sharing for track, let's say, you only get 1. 501 writes in and says, what's one more disaster really? Talking about the Cowboys. I'm tired of disasters, man. Cowboys fans have had enough. Zach writes in, Saints, boys, play this weekend? Yep. Didn't they just have a brawl or brawls at joint practice last week? Yeah, I think the official count was 11 fights. Usually when you have a joint practice, it's against the team you're playing that week. Yeah. Why a week later? I don't know. That's a good question. I guess maybe logistics. I'm not sure why the Saints and Cowboys had the joint practice, and then the Cowboys played Arizona last weekend and not the Saints. I don't know. That's a good, fair question. Don't have an answer for you, Zach. 870 says, I am expecting the talent level at Arkansas is being underrated. I contend Arkansas's talent was much better than their record was last year. And this year, the record will be far better than many think. Those who get a kick trying to pick faults and not looking for anything positive, I hope you start your day looking at your faults and fix what you can. Please be happy. Prayer helps me. Thank you, 870.
Yeah, it's easy to say that talent outweighed their record last year, winning 2 games.
No doubt. I mean, that was something Fernando Carmona told us, that the scouts at the Senior Bowl were asking them, because of all the Razorbacks that were there at the Senior Bowl, how did y'all only win 2 games? So I followed that up with, how did y'all only win 2 games? He's like, man, we don't know. We still talk about that. Turnovers, it was a perfect storm almost. Speaking of social media, all the weather, the meteorologists, there are severe thunderstorm warnings all across the state. Looks like a lot of the state's about to get some much-needed rain.
Pay attention and be safe.
I was looking at the radar, and there are some dark clouds to the south of us right now. And you got storms firing up all over the state, and some of them severe. Yeah, it looks like, I guess that's southwest of us. Hot Springs is getting hit right now. You have north of us, Searcy, Jacksonville, Cabot, some good storms. And then future radar shows that these storms will roll in, start building, and Little Rock should get some rain around 5 o'clock. Looks like right around 5 o'clock it starts building, and we're going to get some nice rain in central Arkansas, Little Rock down to Pine Bluff, South Arkansas, Conway, Searcy, Moore. Yeah, so storms are coming. A lot of lightning out there too. Back to the Middleton Heat and Air text line after your weather update. 501 says it will probably push more people to the app more often also. Oh, talking about the ticker disappearing from ESPN. It's not only ESPN, it's ESPN Family, ABC, SEC Network. No more ticker at the bottom of the screen during football games. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you want to find a score, see what's happened before, earlier in the day, or a game that's going on right now, you'll have to pull up the app. Boyd's not high on Denver. He says they won't be eligible for the Toilet Bowl.
He says they won't or they will.
They will not even be eligible for the Toilet Bowl. So they're so bad they're not going to the Super Bowl or playoffs or the Toilet Bowl. Wes, do you know who will be calling the high school game of the week on the Buzz? And when the broadcasts start, it's Trip Keeter. Trip will be making his way in here shortly for Drive Time Sports. But Trip will be doing play-by-play for all the high school games of the week on the Buzz. First game starts this Friday. All the games start this Friday. Well, actually, 2 start tomorrow night. Got North Little Rock and Rogers. And I was told, I didn't realize Catholic and Joe T were playing tomorrow night. But that's what Thomas Thrash told me earlier this morning. But anyway, North Little Rock, Rogers, that'll be your Fearless Friday game of the week on Thursday night, and watch it on Arkansas CW. But yeah, Trips doing the game, starts this Friday. Glen Rose at Bauxite. As a college football team lineup is announced before each game, let the audience know how much he's getting paid for the season. I think, you know how the NFL does and let you know what college they came from? I think they should at least let you know, well, this guy's a transfer from so-and-so, a transfer from so-and-so, a transfer from here, a transfer from there. Let the audience know where these guys are coming from. Or he is homegrown. He is returning to Arkansas for a second year.
Won't hear that much at all.
No. Hey, Wes, Randy Pickerel here. What's up, Randy? Not sure if you've spoken on this, but Barton is going to 8-man in senior football. I just saw that official. Cabo had let us know earlier in the show that it was being talked about. It looked like it was about to happen, and it has happened. Barton moving from regular football to 8-man. So that changes up some schedules for teams that already had them scheduled in conference and in non-conference. And what's funny, I'd seen Star City earlier this morning, the AAA, trying to find a game this season, right? You know, either 0 week or I think week 3 or something for Star City, because Barton had notified everybody that they're going to 8-man. So Star City was looking for a game, and I think they just found a game. I saw something on social media.
It'd be a wonder how Barton would be able to put together a schedule now.
Yeah, I have to find some other 8-man teams really quick. Heath is in Cabot. What's up, Heath?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, man.
Hey, Heath.
Hey, listen, I was just going to call in response to one of those texts. Look, you are what your record says you are. So if Arkansas was better than 2-10 last year, they would have won more games. I mean, you got to protect the ball, be more disciplined, and, you know, good things happen. So they couldn't do that, and that's the result. But listen,
the point was there was more talent on than the record indicated. And that's what the whole point of this conversation was, and he believes there's even more talent on the team this year, and that's why he thinks the record will be better than people expect.
Well, that could be true, but, you know, it's I believe most fans I'll believe it when I see it in that type of situation, because we really hadn't seen it as of late. But look, I'm all for optimism, but it's better to be realistic than optimistic. So I'm just saying. That's all I got, gentlemen.
All right, Heath, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to be wait and see, because not only what we've seen in the past, but what we don't even know about this team. You know, how good is KJ going to be? You can start right there at the most important position. And then you start looking at when the 2 deep comes out Monday, and you start looking at all the new players on the 2 deep, and many people don't even know who they are, where they came from. You don't know what to expect. So we'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see if they're any good. 903 writes in and says ESPN may want to drive people to the app and took the ticker away. So that's another one. Conspiracy theorist. Drive them to the app. Get more views on that app. Yeah, it'll work. I know. That's what I'll do. I'll be sitting there watching the game and going, well, what else is going on? Who else is playing? What are the scores of some other games? I don't like it. This guy, 870, says, the ticker is gone and my prayers have been answered. My question for you, 870, why did you dislike it so much? Was it that big of a distraction? I mean, it seems like every program you watch these days has a ticker going on. I mean, we're watching ESPN right now, and they've got Charlie Becker from Indiana on. It's got him on one corner of the screen, some of his stats. You see the host on the little corner. There's a lower third, Indiana University wide receiver, college football national champion. I mean, there's a lot of information, but at the very bottom, there's the SEC vote. If you sign a professional playing contract, compete professionally, should not then be permitted to return to college competition. That's from the SEC. The Big Ten will reportedly suspend a head coach. Same thing. But anyway, the ticker does, honestly, because of tickers everywhere, I don't notice it until I'm looking for something. You know, it doesn't distract me. I'm just used to it. And if I'm looking for some information, I'll look down at the ticker.
We'll see if that's permanent or that's something that they're just doing for now. Because if they get a bad response, then they may change.
You know, it's one button. That's how easy it is. Well, you got to type in all the information. You got someone that's working in graphics that types in all the information for the ticker. But to put it back in, you hit one button, and it takes it out, takes it in. So it'd be easy to return. It's built into your graphics package. So as soon as you hit that button, there's the ticker. I mean, heck, even my show. I have a ticker on More Sports. I put stats and different things, Razorback schedule, whatever, on the ticker. So I'm going to miss it. I will. I will miss the ticker. To counter the caller, Heath, put me in a camp it's better to be optimistic than realistic in the preseason. It's just human nature. Some people, by human nature, are more optimistic. Some people are more pessimistic, or in this case, optimistic or realistic. I'm an optimistic person. I look at things on the positive side, but I have friends who look at things on the negative side. We counterbalance each other. Let's see here. One more before I got to hit the break. He hasn't seen a loss either. You're injecting too what you haven't seen, but I hear how negative you are. Me or the caller? Oh, I don't know. All right. Not sure what you mean, but we'll take a break on that. When we come back, we'll start to wrap it up. See what Double R has planned for Drive Time Sports. Chat with him for a second. Stick around. This is Out of Bounds.
Stop paying retail. Summer savings on now at Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse in Cabot. Contractors, builders, and DIYers, this is your paradise. And yes, they're open to the public. Unbelievable pricing on all kinds of flooring, butcher block countertops, gorgeous shower and backsplash tile, discount shingles, ceiling fans, faucets, and more. The hottest savings of the summer. 2011 North 2nd Street in Cabot. Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse where you save big every single day. Build better naturally.
Instant fun every day? That's a win. The chance at a life-changing jackpot? Win. Creating scholarships for Arkansas students? That's the biggest win of all. When you play the lottery, it's a win-win-win for Arkansas. So far, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has raised over $1.5 billion to fund more than 822,000 scholarships. Keep playing and winning Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
In today's digital world, compliance isn't just a box to check, it's a necessity. Network Services Group will help you navigate the complex landscape of cybersecurity regulations, making sure your business stays compliant and secure. Stay ahead of the curve. Focus on what really matters, growing your business. Network Services Group, your partner in compliance for banks and medical organizations.
Network Services Group. One call does it all.
August Friday nights in Arkansas mean one thing. High school football is back. Whether you're tailgating, hauling coolers, or cheering from the stands, Blatney Chevrolet's got the ride for game day. Right now, get a 2026 Silverado at 0% for 60 months. Or drive home a brand new Equinox for just $289 a month. Pre-owned vehicles start at just $199 a month, and we will pay your sales tax. Visit us at 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. With approved credit. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
For all the times you multitask, Malvern National Bank has technology to make banking easier. When you need to transfer travel money into your account while on the go. When you need to pay your friends back for lunch. When you need to check the balance on your account. When you need to locate the nearest branch or ATM. Or when you need to deposit a check and don't have time to go to the bank. Simple to use website tools and apps at your fingertips. To find out more, visit mnbbank.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's Justin Acri for Kaufman by Design West. I'm here with Ruben, and there's big news out at Kaufman. Ruben, tell me why Toro mowers are such a great addition to what you guys have to offer.
Toro's been around for 100 years. When it comes to rider comfortability, they've introduced the MyRide suspension, where it really is like riding on a cloud. Superior cut quality, even cuts. This is a mower that can stick with you for a very long time.
If you want to make your outdoor space look great, Kaufman by Design West has got you covered, now including Toro mowers. Check them out at 14900 Cantrell Road or online at kaufmanlumber.com.
When second's making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
See Shelter agents Drew Selfer, Nick Jones in Hot Springs, or agent Justin Stewart in Malvern today.
What if someone did play-by-play of your life?
Example, what would it sound like if you visited, say, Genesis of Conway? There's the arrival. Look at the reaction on that face at seeing a dealership that is so luxurious. And going for a test drive now of a GV80, and the smile is huge. And here it comes, the big play, $8,000 off the price of that very same GV80. Let's hear it again in slow motion. $8,000 off. Winner, Genesis of Conway. The future of luxury today.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Henard Foothills Equipment Studios. Henard Foothills Equipment in Searcy. Leaders in hay equipment with Vermeer hay products. HenardFoothills.com. Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
Tell me, do you see her? She's living her life. Even if she acts like she don't want the limelight. But if you knew it.
All right, welcome back to Out of Bounds. We'll finish up. We'll get the last couple of texts in here before we start chatting with Double R. Peyton in Searcy says, Wes, I'm about to start my own podcast whenever all my equipment comes in a couple of weeks. What are some pro tips you can give me about setting up a ticker, or maybe even some starter tips for setup? Tell you what, Peyton, the best tip I can give you is use a program like StreamYard that we use right here on The Buzz. If you watch us on 1037thebuzz.com, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, we use StreamYard. I use Restream or StreamYard, either or, and they're very user-friendly. I'd admit I'm not the most technological advanced person out there, and I figured it out in a couple of days. I mean, it's easy. Joe, you do a lot of the StreamYard. You feel like it's pretty easy?
It is. I mean, it's like anything else. It takes some getting used to, but once you do it for a bit, then it's second nature.
And you're not going to mess anything up. By tinkering around with it, playing with it, and trying some different things. I mean, it's pretty easy to use. So that would be the best thing I would tell you. And it's not very much a month for the program. I think mine is you can get a base for like $19 a month, and it's well worth it. It makes it just so much easier to have everything. That's my pro tip for you. Restream or StreamYard. And there may be others out there. I'm just familiar with those two because of the Buzz and tinkering around with Restream. Randall says, I'll miss the ticker. During uneventful parts of the program, I read that and get scores and other information from it. Use it all the time. I'm with you, Randall. 501 says, I thought the ESPN ticker catered to gamblers. Not saying that it's bad, just not sure how they're going to get rid of it. Surely it's a modification. And go Seahawks.
Most of your TVs provide that anyway. Like newer TVs, you can get score updates where it's a click of a button.
Yeah. Caller, I actually think you and Joe try to give your best shot. I live life at my age. Issues of getting older more important than sports to me. I can't live worried about losing games. Oh, he's talking about being.
I'm with him.
Yeah.
Or her. I'm with that person for sure.
No doubt. Let's bring in Randy. Now, Randy's negative. We're positive, so that's.
What am I negative concerning?
Oh, you're always negative, worried about this or that. So upset and I think that's.
No, I was so happy.
That's Mark. That's ME rubbing off on you all these years. Yeah. I think you used to be a lot more positive, and he's just rubbed off and made you a much more negative person.
Randy, you're realistic. That's what it is.
Thank you, Joe.
You're realistic.
Thank you, Joe. I'm being realistic. No, actually, was it not Sunday? I wasn't on the air Sunday, but I was so happy when it finally became official that KJ Jackson was going to be the starter.
I thought about you. I was on the golf course, and someone was, did you see the news? I was like, no, what? And they were like, KJ's the quarterback. I was like, oh, good. Well, I guess Randy's happy.
Yeah!
Doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, get it settled. Get it settled. Make it official.
Yep. Well, that's done. When are the Double R prop bets for North Alabama coming out?
We normally wait until about 4 or 5 days out from the actual event, and certainly that allows, well, in this case, North Alabama is going to play Samford.
Oh, that's right.
So I would like to have those numbers, even though it's not.
Is that tomorrow night too, or is that Saturday?
No, Saturday.
Okay.
It's not a true apples to apples comparison. You're hoping Arkansas is better than Samford, but at least to give you a feel for what you can somewhat expect in these type games, and I use that phrase not demeaning North Alabama, but normally we only do first half stats, not entire game stats. So that further
complicates the issue.
Yeah, because
I hope they don't need full game stats.
No, you're absolutely correct about that. But yeah, it's not quite the same doing half game stats. Obviously, it is for a full game.
What's coming up next on Drive Time Sports?
Well, we share the same Cabo. He's coming on 4:30. Trey Biddy at 5 o'clock, 5:30. Okay, 6 o'clock. Martin Reed. 5:30. Chris Turnage, NFL agent.
Oh, that'd be
guru.
nice.
Yeah, and then 6 o'clock. Martin Reed. Thanks to Martin Orthopedics.
I want to find out, can these players now sue the SEC and Big Ten for not allowing them to come back and penalizing teams for accepting these
No, I said
players?
yesterday, the happiest people are the lawyers.
They're the winners.
They're loving this.
Have a great show.
Thank you, buddy.
Coming up, we get to catch up tomorrow with Coach Z and Richard Davenport and high school football to discuss. Stick around. Drive Time Sports is next.
Laura Landro.